representing for their entire region at the Rave Cave.
Yep, this is huge. You got
this Larson and Smite duo who have fought their way on up to 7th. And again, elims are the name of the game for Larson and Smite. But this is where they have built their reputation, fighting in the early game, managing to get so much experience being contested season after season. It started way back north where Vino and Queasy are, but hold up. Larson finds one, the trade is good, and Smite gets the other, and down goes OCE, Muzz, and Looter.
That was a fantastic play by Larson, reading him like a book. He turned the page and got an elimination as Mr. Savage strikes again. On-one goes down. Baka has to go ahead and figure out what to do next as iDrop's trying to get those angles. Right now, they're just trying to alleviate the pressure, but the Brazilian duo that you're talking about, King and Mr. Savage, they're looming in the distance, waiting for that perfect moment to strike.
And that's right. This is such a huge opportunity. Now, remember, they land just west of the Chrome Jam Junction. For them to come in, sweep things up, could change the story around. There it is. They open up with a couple tags, but iDrop gets to the loot first. He's got the refresh. He's got a little more material, and you have to assume King and Ed are just a little bit more positioned and ready for this, but a good defense, a good bluff is all you need here to back them off, and it is going to be enough. King and Ed don't get to show us what they're made of in a clean 2v2.
Another team is kind of floating in towards Chrome Jam. That is the Asian powerhouse. But over here, towards the islands, towards Mighty Monument, you have the FNCS, NA West champions, trying to have that repeat performance in game number 1. That's Basil, that's Chase, that are under pressure. High ground is seemingly right now cemented to the PSG TNA duo.
Now Yuumi is very solid. Cool's gonna find Jason the feed there. It's up to Basubai himself. Basil has no teammate to work with here, and he is trapped inside this stone build here. This is a very tough tower to play out of. Awkward positions to build, and the terrain gets extremely weird. He does drop a few layers, but there's only 2 exits, and one of them's cut off by tons of enemy territory. So look at this. He goes out the back with the windows there, and that is that game knowledge kicking in there. Yuumi and Cool are looking so solid. This is what they do on a day-to-day basis, isn't it, Jacob?
Yep, this is exactly what they came to do here with that stunning performance last season. Even though it was a 2-day competition, they ran away with it on day 1, and when push came to shove, they held on to it in day 2 to take home that crown. But you can kind of see the Brazilian duo slowing things down just a little bit. They thought it was going to be an easy third party on a Mr. Savage and Baka and On1, but it wasn't as easy as we thought.
Definitely, and of course, plenty of highlights as well. Let's get caught up with how this unplayed and unfolded. So On1 just gets snuck up on there. You saw all the chrome builds. He says, no, I'm not going through that. We're going to go on and take the easy path here.
But that's exactly what iDrop was kind of talking about. He said, I've been dropping here for 12 months.
Right.
I'm ready to fight. I'm not splitting loot. I came to take what's mine. And he does it game after game after game. If they can keep up this type of consistency, mix that with an opportunity to take the end game, this is a recipe for a duo that can catch fire at any moment. Because you got to remember, one of the last in-person events that we had, not the last one, but one of the last, Mr. Savage took it out on top. You had Bizzle in second, and the placement's down far after.
That's right, but look at this. Seti and Cammy going to the old trusty right on top of this air blimp. This is what you expect. This is a huge double-edged sword here where you expose yourself, but you just open up the entire terrain before you. As we jump on over to Kitos and PH in here, looking absolutely phenomenal. They have more eliminations against players inside the top 10 than any other duo, just showing us exactly what they are capable and made of.
This is literally the story of them on their region as well. They consistently take out teams at the top, and that is perfect preparation for a lobby like this, because you got to think the Brazil region, they're fighters. They love to fight, and right now they're playing against the best, and it's working out.
Let's talk a little bit about this zone for a second here. For the first time now, we see a little northern pole off to the east, so we get another kind of shake-up. So the last time we went to Shiny, it didn't quite work out for Vino and Queasy, but what we did see was that they were so just suited for a big game. And now that we know that, it should be the same story. But let's get on over to Lustrous Lagoon here. It's crazy to me how Runa and Peppo have demanded so much respect from this entire regional competition that no one has decided to contest them here at the Lagoon. We've known in seasons past, this is a hot spot.
Yeah, and I love how they're playing. They know exactly what happens to any team in Lustrous Lagoon if they have it uncontested. You take too long to loot, these other team on the outskirts will begin to climb up onto that mountain and put the shots down. They met Chimp and Scram there. They don't want to let anything go easy in a lobby like this, but Chimp, you can kind of see him crouching down, biding his time, trying to minimize the audio that he does give out, reuniting with Scram, trying to get that elevation in, but no opportunity is going to be given up by Runa and Peppo.
Love the focus that we're seeing from Chimp right now as he is starting to line up Runa and Peppo here. Not afraid of taking a fight, but also playing extremely smart. He does have the slight disadvantage, but Runa swings the thing around there. He says, hold up. Might just go up for high ground. Meanwhile, Queasy looking for tags here in the distance. So there's all types of battles starting to shape up and potentially heat out right now. And remember, this is all in loom of potential storm surge, right?
Scram, Chimp, still in that high ground fight. The thing is, they're in zone. Every team that landed south is going to come here on this side. This is going to be the most congested side of the map, Monster. They have to be careful. They got to start looking to end this fight quick, whether it's taking the actual fight or just trying to disengage.
Zagu doesn't stop, though. He finds Falconer in the feed there while this fight is raging on here. Chimp still looking around, just saying, hey, Scram, I trust you. Do your thing. Take that toe-to-toe. Keep them busy. Meanwhile, Chimp's like, I'll look for tags in the distance, make sure no one sneaks up. The confidence to trust in Scram to play by himself here.
Zagu, the team from Asia. You see Hellfire and Falconer in the distance. The shot's just coming in.
Oh my gosh.
You can see how he went down. He had no choice but to go forward. Storm was going to eat him alive. And I think that's still Queasy and Vino on top of the blimp, lending that helping hand inadvertently.
And then they just W key straight across as well. They're like, you're not going to get that save whether you want to or not. We're here to fight, and we're going to make sure we solidify the elim. That will effectively allow them to take first place, breaking the tie. Now, Vino and Queasy, of course, are just behind them, and this is going to become a matter of who can survive the longest and play the best, of course. So this is still a moment, and big decision to make. Chrome Splash, the launch pad. It looks like they drop him.
What are you choosing? I like the Chrome Splashes personally.
I'm trusting in their gut. It doesn't matter what I want. They got the launch pad. I want the launch pad too.
Go ahead. It actually does give you options. Short pad. You can do the high pad. You can go ahead and try to take high ground if you're able to hold on it towards the end game. And this is going to be the first instance of Storm Surge in game number 4 that we're going to see all day long. We've seen teams not necessarily manage it the best, and that being the sole focus of why they get down. But game number 3, Victory Royale winners, Joe and Ziandy, 58 below the damage threshold and continuously falling.
Now they did win a game, but that's not enough to stay in. You have to continue to perform, and maybe, just maybe, that long-awaited break has allowed other teams to figure it out. Hit that drawing board. They're slowly slipping down now. 91 below here, but the longer they wait, the more likely enemies are to set up, so they have to get going. Off to the air vent they go. Can they get there in time? He misses it just slightly, but Joe fights back. And he doesn't miss. How quick was the setup there? Nicely done. That little bit of defense is something, sometimes all you need to go in and buy you some time.
But they're still 46 below the damage threshold. They have a lot more room to cover as well, but luckily for them, they have the Chili Chug Splashes. They have the Mighty Monument.
Oh,
as Nico has an elimination onto Miriam. Can he be able to clean that one up and get the spoils after that falls all together? Moraine and Vico really trying to show up this game, and you talked about it during that break about how stacked that top of the leaderboard actually is.
And it looks like they were waiting around just a little too long. They try to bait out the vault, and instead they get punished. And now Zagu is by himself. The shield bubble is going to buy him some time, but it's only a matter of time. If he stays there, yes, they're just going to 2v1 him. He goes up for high ground, and he's trying to get on out of here. Vico and Moran decide better. They say, all right, I'm okay with that. With Swag and Pablo here, let's just get to the new storm. Let's get safe, and that's what they do first. But it is not looking good for our first place team now.
Yeah, so many teams just barely on the threshold, either above or below, as Runa and Peppo trying to keep things going. They are 244 below the damage threshold, going up against Peak and Anas. who've also had their own struggles when it comes to Storm Surge. This could be a good fight for both of them. A huge shot coming out of Peppo. Beacon and Oz, they have their backs up against the wall, trying to get out alive, but the backfire comes through. Vidil gets an elimination as well. Everybody in this fight is under siege. Pink, with his back up against the wall, takes them both down.
And EU takes down Asia in a 2v2 head-to-head with no interference in the distance. Chapix cleans things up onto Z, Andy, and Joe are Game 3 winners. And now Chapix and Tayson continue to play upset. Let's just take a look at the highlight. How did it all go down? He walks up. Man, this is why Chapix is so good. This is what he did in the World Cup. This is what he's doing here now. And ooh, you can see the pain. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's definitely tough here. But luckily for them, they did get that victory royale. They're at the top side of the leaderboard. One bad game does not decide your future. As Queasy and Vino under siege yet again. Just a sliver of HP. Storm Surge doing its wonders, but they have 10 splashes. But Vino has to try to get him out. That means Queasy has to alleviate some of the pressure with the build. But shots coming in from the distance. Luckily for them, it's another team that is struggling to surge, so they're not the sole focus of the lobby just yet.
Now this is insane. First place has already lost a teammate. Now Vino and Queasy, who are in second, just points behind, are so hurt here, and the surge is continuing. They will have to take this fight. That's not an easy duo, and that one isn't either. This is looking very, very tough now for Queasy and Vino.
As Merrim gets knocked down again to Edgy. They're just going through it this game. We talk about consistency being the key. 44 below the damage threshold. Commandment and Avery become the targets to Queasy and Vino, but how long can they last? Just only a few ticks away. The short pad coming through. They get the damage, but is it going to be enough to go above the damage threshold? Yo, it is not, but it is finally at the tail end. Barely going to be enough. Launchpad going out. They're going to live, Monster, to fight another day.
How did Queasy survive that with 1 HP, and now he gets to fight back just a little bit here? Can he find anything? Was there something left behind? They should know better. This is their landing spot. This is their home territory, and they're just going to go ahead and look for scraps now. And just like that, they knew what they left behind, and they are going to be back in this game in no time.
Some of the biggest brains in Fortnite to kind of remember something like that. That is outside of the box thinking, but the Storm Surge has not left them just yet. 49 still below the damage threshold. Commandment and Avery, I don't know how they made it out alive either, but they're still doing a good job this time around. 187 above the damage threshold. Let's see what they can do when it's not going to be a worry.
Let's not forget, these are our previous NA East champions, but hold up, Vino says we need some Elins, but no, he gets taken out, and Queasy, it's up to him, and he falls too. And all of a sudden, Vino and Queasy are down, and Zagu is there to play in the mess here. He is putting his own two thoughts into the battle. He has not given up, and this is an opportunity now. Look at Zagu's HP. He is so hurt there off to the side, and now he turns and burns. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave it to you, Avery. I'm gonna leave it to you, Commandment. You guys can have it, but it's Savage and iDrop who get all the loot.
Yeah, and that's huge for the loot for Savage and iDrop, because now they can kind of pick and choose. You see, he still has some bandages there, so he's trying to look for something else to maybe trade it off, but with 2 launch pads, the zone right now is not going to be a worry at all, especially since Commandment and Avery are already making their rotation outward. But another team landed towards Cloudy Combos, Malibuca and Murstache.
So let's think about this, right? Third place is out. Joe and Z Andy are out. That's going to allow things to get really competitive at the top. But now that we see Queasy and Vino crossed out as well, it is that much closer here. Let's take a look at these quick highlights here. How are they so far ahead of the Surge? Well, there you go. You ask and you receive. Jamper just gets clotheslined without any notice.
It almost looks like they were thinking the same thing. Let me knock on this door, take this piece away, but Jamper was just a little bit too slow to the punch. Rolls Rifty, trying to fly high through the sky. Tripper and Thomas. It's like target practice for them as Macwood does go down to Hydro. And there goes the leaderboard, 5th through 9th. Look how stacked it is. Only 8 points separating those teams.
And remember, Joe and Z Andy are down and out. Zagu has jumped back into the game here.
Impressive.
46 damage above the Surge. All he has to do is out-survive 2 players, and you would think it would not be possible, but he has found his way back into into this game here, and he is still getting that much more lucky. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of luck, and look at the heals come back to reward him here. He's going to hold on and continue to earn. Seti and Cammy have an opportunity to go ahead and close this gap. They lost out on it at the last game, falling short. But as we know, they're slow, they're steady.
Yeah, for them, it's not just chasing after eliminations. They're not forcing any of these plays. Like you said, slow and steady wins the race. And for them, they let these opportunities naturally present itself while gathering all the information in the lobby. They know exactly what to do as long as they're not playing with their backs up against the wall. Clix and Duke, another highly skilled team, 353 above the damage threshold. They already have an elimination. For them, it's just making it to the end game itself.
And it's crazy to show the disparity, the point difference between Clix and Duke there, and first place. 47 points separate 20th from first. It shows you that's about a 2-game spread. You have to play very, very well, but it also shows you one big win and you're inside the top 10. Undoubtedly, you are very much right back into this game if you can just get one.
Yeah, mindset and handling this pressure is going to be huge because it's easy. You know, 12 games, being in a stage like this, you go down early, it starts to sink in that doubt. It's easy to believe in that doubt, but right now, you guys are the best of the best on that stage. You need to snap yourselves out of it and really pick it back up because this is game 4 out of 12. You have every chance in the world to make a comeback.
Ju and Yusra have been contested on the drop to the hands of OCE, Alex and Bailey. We have seen what they have managed to do all day. They are an exceptional duo. And finally now, Yusra and Ju get to show us what they are made of. They are playing for high ground, but they're below the surge. They're going to have to take a box fight. The wall's his, but not quick enough on the edit there. And instead, he backs off. What do you do in this situation? Do you look around or take a box fight is the question. And Ju says, hold that thought. Let me go ahead and get these tags real quick.
Don't worry, Monster. I got you. You ask a question, I'll definitely give you an answer in a moment. 48 above the damage threshold. They know their job is not done just yet, but they can at least slow things down, start to gather the information like a lot of these other teams are going to be needing. But them having the high ground, if they pull zone, they're going to be in the perfect position to terrorize the rest of the lobby. Oof.
Smite and
Nobody
Larson
gets it.
Smite and Larson still alive here. They came in at 7th place. 3 elims added on to where they left off. Now effectively has to jump them on up for a fight for top 3, potentially first as well. I have a question though. Is Zagu still alive? Is he somehow snaking his way around the game? We're going to have to find out. Sensitive and Cold, often in an end game. That consistency paying off right now as we know it should. Sensitive and Cold are just proving that they are so good at Fortnite, no matter what the setting is, online or in person.
And the team, after that first game, is finally finding their rhythm. 251 above the damage threshold. 3 eliminations so far. 3 chilling truck splashes onto Merstash. So you got to imagine on the other side probably having some rotation as well. But Scented and Cold right now trying to find a way to stabilize. 29 below the damage threshold. Luckily for them though, that's not too much. That's one good shot, but the same thing happens to them. They're under pressure. 19 HP, trying to get the splashes off, but now Zone is kicking them out. Cold goes down. It's all to Scented.
And it looks like Acorn and Edgy were just waiting for that wall to open up, and there it is. Acorn is the one who finds Cold, and Scented is now left to do it by himself, but he has been here before. That is where he feels most comfortable. Meanwhile, Pink and Anath, they have so much catching up to do. They have already picked up 5 elims. This is exactly the type of pacing they want to be on coming into an end game. But Cammy and Seti are here in the mid-ground. PHC and Kitos are there as well. This is one of the most dangerous layers that we have seen, and it's players who are fighting to get that #1 spot.
Oh, but Scented, he was able to take down Thor, but he needs that Siphon to come through, and it goes in just in the nick of time. Trying to stay alive. Chili Chug Splash to try to go ahead and gain the speed to get to the outside of zone. Somehow it knocks us down. You got to thank Commandment Avery for that one. So now Pink is left as a solo. What can he do with only 3 builds to his name?
And they take high ground again in this game here. 4 elims now. Things are really starting to get interesting for NAEs. Avery says, come down. Let's go to the low ground and wait for him to start taking the lead here. Now, usually we call Commandment the Mr. Clutch, and Commandment says, trust in me. I have this high ground on lock. Meet me at the top.
Yep. one of the most insane end game finishes for the FNCS Chapter 3 Season 3 Championship. They're looking to do it here again in this game as Malabuka's by himself. He ends up into the box, takes another player out, a huge siphon and refresh to come through just in the nick of time. That was Ed from Brazil who went down, but he's doing a good job. Malabuka immediately beelining to the front side of zone.
And back to Pink here. Look at Pink's perspective. He's on that low with 7 elims. He has not stopped picking up. Malabuka continues to fight though. U-Street is going to fall there, and a quick elim. Someone's behind him though. Now he turns around and it's just enemy territory everywhere. Which way are you gonna go, son? That's the zone. Larson and Smite are still alive. This is where they do the most work, but no, it's not enough. They get wiped up and taken out.
Shot missed. Duke clicks, take advantage in the blink of an eye. Another end game. They're trying to move up to the top leaderboards as Thomas HD goes down. Trippin, feeling the pressure as a solo here. And changing elevation. That was a huge play because look how many teams are stuck down low towards the low ground, but now he has to meet him down there as Commandment Avery begins to put on the pressure. Malabuka, 4 eliminations as a solo, 6 as a team. The damage continues, and he's putting on a show.
He doesn't stop. Down goes Rifty. 5 elims. Can he get another? No, it's not enough. Tripper fights back. He's got it in him. And now, look at this. Behind the walls, BL and Edgy from the storm. BL is still in this. It's Zeddy who's representing on this low ground. Another huge consistent game for SETI is everything here.
I think there's 5 duos left, and about maybe 3 of them are full duos right now. And Savage loses that one. He's trying to take down the NA West team. He takes down Yumi. Huge siphon coming through. Mr. Savage does it again and gets into the top 4.
You have to love the movement here.
Oh my God!
Another one. He does not stop. SETI might just be next. Savage is on fire. Let's see it. High ground is still NA East. 1v1v2. Commandment and Avery have everything working for them as Savage is looking to do so much work. But SETI says, hold up, I could find a chance here. He needs to pick and choose this wisely. Do you go for 2 elims on the low ground or a chance at first? And down goes Savage. SETI knows better. And it's a great game for Commandment and Avery.
A huge victory royale and a huge boost for the NA East champions of Chapter 3 Season 3. Commandment and Avery switched up their games after halftime, and it pays off big.
And that's why you have to love that little moment where the players get to hit the drawing board. Look at that smile on Commandment. You love to see it as they have managed to put up a huge win and represent. And again, the story goes now. 2 for EU, 2 wins for NA East. It's just back and forth, showing us how close the competition really is.
And you're seeing the polar opposite of what happens to some of these teams. But let's go ahead and listen to them as Kelly is going to dig deep to figure out how they did it.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Clearly, you guys have made a great change. What exactly have you done differently in Game 4?
We just looked for height way more than like game.
Differently in Game 4?
We just looked for height way more than like game 1, 2, 3.
That's what's going on. This pressure is unlike anything. And the moment that these guys start to pop off, you could hear the crowd going absolutely ham. Because this is what we want to see, right? This game was like way more aggressive than anything else we've seen.
It's what you love to see, right? Malabuka popping off like a solo. Mr. Savage popping off like a solo. Pink in 6th zone with 5 elims, but then Avery and Commandment taking it from above, taking the high ground and finishing it off with a nice little VR. Look, we just had halftime. They had a little break. I don't even think they changed up their strategy a lot, but just that little moment of time to reflect and get back into the game, it's changed a lot.
And you saw that right there, the refresh from Commandment, that was so crucial in them holding the high ground out at the end. I have a little look, Commandment had 200 wood when they were on high ground in a second of moving zone. It wasn't going to be enough. That was a crucial refresh from Commandment, and that is ultimately what got them the victory, right? They were able to take the high ground and spray down below right at the perfect time as well. Look at that.
Oh, man, and you know what's crazy too? Cammy and SETI, we saw SETI make top 3 there, right? And even though he was a solo, he held on. But really quickly, Adam, I think you want to talk about Split. What you got, friend?
I got so much for you guys right now. I'm joined by the almighty Clicks and Duke, everyone! We're working so hard over here right now. Duke's hand warmer has exploded in his hand because he's working that hard. Duke, currently you guys are sat, I think, in 13th place, 82 points. After 4 games, how's it been being out there amongst the rest of the competitors?
I'm feeling good playing with the loot that we have. We're doing really well we're leaving off spawn with like 2 minis max, maybe like a big pot. And we're still doing good. I'm feeling good right now.
You're doing fantastic. I mean, Clicks as well. Prior to this competition, you almost partnered with Pink, who was, obviously is dropping in the same area for Jonesy as you guys. How's it being testing yourselves against them each POI and each drop?
It sucks. Like what Duke said, we're leaving terrible loot and we always have to come back, but good luck to them. And it's pretty close right now.
It is. Only 20 points at the top, I think.
Yeah, it's like 10. We're 10 points between each other.
Okay.
But good luck to them,
Looking good. I love that. Great sportsmanship there. Big up for Clicks and Duke, everyone! And heading down this way to coming over to Pink and Anas!
Because I'm really sorry for the
What's up, Pink? How are we? I couldn't miss you with the hair. Looks great. How's the competition been thus far as well for you guys?
Anas is playing good, and he's just following me, and I'm playing good. So far, it's good.
Lots of good. That's good. And Anas as well, partnering with Pink in this competition. We just asked Clicks the question as well. Fort Jonesy, both dropping in the same POI. How have you managed to manage it thus far?
Yeah, I think we're playing pretty well. It's some minor mistakes that we make that make us die, but like overall, it's pretty good.
But you've still got plenty of time to change things up.
Yeah,
Yes?
I think we're gonna keep adapting and just do what it takes.
I think in this competition, you have to adapt, being all the regions combined in one lobby. So big up for Anas and Pink, everybody! Let's head back over to Zeke and the gang.
Thank you so much, Adam, and fantastic just to hear from these players. I love this setting, right? We can literally just go, I want to know what those players are thinking. Let's walk up, let's ask a couple questions, and kind of see them. You can even tell, like, they're still pretty focused, right? Like, of course, they're going to answer Adam's questions, but there is definitely like a level of resolve right there where they're like, look, I just want to get in this next game. I want to get the run back.
Look, I want to speak a little bit on our current first place duo, Seti and Cammy, right? We normally see them XL in day 2, but now they're popping off in day 1, 120 points. They're showing their consistency, but I just really hope that they can keep it up.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this duo, right? We saw them in the mid-ground layers that time, and usually we do see them there, but a little bit higher up than usual, and that's what they've been doing this season. They've been switching up their playstyle, which hasn't worked out too well for them in the past. They're traditionally low ground, very calm, very passive, if you like, in the early stage of the game. They're just riding on the surge, of course, that I mentioned earlier, but they are really trying to change things up, and you could see it didn't quite work out. Of course, Cammy going down early. So you know what Seti thought? He thought, you know what? I'm just going to go back to basics. Back down to low ground. We've seen him solo clutching so many times, and oh boy, was he doing it again. Absolutely crazy scenes.
I mean, they always put on a show, right? Seti and Cammy, they're well known. They've accomplished so much, and now, if today and tomorrow combined, they can keep it up. They can take home a title, an international title. It would be something that I'd love to see, but them having secured the VR game 1 from height was surprising, and now seeing them keep up the consistency is not as surprising. We know how strong they are, but we're only 4 games in. There's still so much more to be played out.
That's right, man. 2 games left on the day. And remember, this is kind of setting the pace, because we're back tomorrow for another 6 games, and we're going to walk away winners. But it is that time. We are ready for game number 5 here from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is the FNCS Invitational.
Thank you so very much, Zeke. There we get to kick things back off one more time. It's Monster D-Face and Jacob PR calling all the action here. What a set of games we have had so far.
Yeah, this is nothing short than entertainment at its finest.
Right.
I feel like a gladiator calling all the action in an arena. This has just been dreams come true. But right now, game number 5 is about to be underway, and this is where some dreams could become nightmares.
Hopefully no one's dreams get crushed here, but it is inevitable. At the end, you have to step up, you have to perform. And we've seen so many great performances already, especially when it comes down to this Becoming Legends duo of Cammy and Seti. Wait for them to represent not only for Poland, but the organization. I know my boy Reno is proud sitting back right now as these players are competing at the best of their capabilities. But once again, this Northern Bus shows us there's going to be trouble for Savage and iDrop here, or Bakken on one.
Yeah, I want to see Bakken on one kind of really either do one of 2 things. be the aggressors first, or just kind of get what they got out of their loot and try to get out, because right now, it just seemingly time and time again, Mr. Savage and iDrop have that high ground, but waste no time. Muzz and Loot are getting busy, putting damage onto Larson before he can even touch the ground. Baka does it! He does it over towards Chrome Jam. He gets the double and takes down Mr. Savage and iDrop.
Man, oh man, there are big stories developing now. Green Gables will have a fight soon here. Looter and Muzz have a chance at redemption, but the story has been told for the Chrome Jam Junction. We have to close that book out for now. Meanwhile, don't forget, Kondo has the battles there too. Let's take a look here. This is how they go for high ground. He beats them to the drop.
Guys, I can't
Best saddle, turns and burns on iDrop. What an incredible 2v1. Representing for NA West. You didn't think it was possible, but they're putting it up. That's 2 for 2.
And another action going down very early yet again. Cloudy Condos, we haven't seen too much of it right out of the gates, but Chapix is down. Aqua was able to get the knock, and they're hunting. They're hunting for Tayson right now.
Let's see it. Cloudy Condos is a tough spot to fight, especially at the southern area. The southern area is more often taken by a singular team of Reason and Aqua, but Malabuka and Merstache got a little lucky here as Tayson tries to steal in and sneak away some loot, but you see the knock body there. No save just yet. They're going to leave him behind. They're baiting it. They want Tayson to try to go for Chapix here. Aqua gets punished, though. And now, little lesson learned, he slows down.
This is fabulous for Malabuka and Merstache, though, because now they have options. They can loot up, they can get the resources, everything that they want, and more as Aqua gets knocked, but Tayson gets taken out. Chapix and Tayson are the second team. EU are the only 2 teams down out of this game so far, but if you look at the leaderboard, Seti and Cammy sitting strong in first, Thomas and Trippin close by, but now Malabuka and Merstache, knowing that that fight just ended, they can either go right away and try to clean it up, or they can continue doing what they're doing, loot up and try to get out, but we know how aggressive this team is going to be, and I think it's going to be the first choice.
Let's see it. There's still a chance. There's still time left in the ticker here, but things are not looking too hot. Let's jump on over to Larson and Smite. Larson and Smite, Grim Gables. This is now, again, the second time we get to catch it real early where they have this slight advantage. The last time it was Looter who fell first and then left it all up to Muzz. It's looking like this might be the same story once again. Looter and Muzz, notably not that successful in early game battles versus Larson and Smite as a comparison who have such better odds just historically. And so far it's been just like that.
I have a pretty
huge shot landed by Muzz, but in that 2v1 situation, it's easy to kind of stabilize yourself, heal up, and now Muzz is just trying to get out. He's trying to survive, and it's going to be up to Larson and Smite to kind of let him. Do you let him survive? Do you continue to chase? And right now, they are hot on his heels. They don't want to let these 2 points. They don't want to let that refresh. They don't want to let this elimination slip through, and right now, it is not, but that was an explosive ending. That almost makes magic happen.
Smite says, you want a show? I'll give you a show. Hold this pickaxe. And down goes Muzz. What a way to really assert yourself here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vico and Moran push up on retake and Novice here inside the box. Vico with a quick finish and then steps over to the side. He 2v1s at the reality tree as well. Oh, the punishment there. That's tough, but it happens.
Yep, and the fights, they continue all around. Pink and Anas, they're trying to do it yet again, but it's not Clicks, it's not Dukes, it's Peter Bot and Jamper this time around.
What are they doing
And they're ready to fight. They're ready to take it to them. And this is what happens when teams go the last couple of games struggling to Storm Surge on an uncontested drop. They're trying to get active. They're trying to find what damage they can gather. And for Peter Bot and Jamper, it does look like they bit off a little bit more than they could chew because Pink and Anas have every single advantageous position right now.
Yeah, but Peter Bot, Jamper already picking up big end games. They know how to navigate these early game situations, and more importantly, Peter Bot is just gross when it comes down to head-to-head. That is not a player you can sleep on by any means, and Jamper is a veteran. He does not get the credit he deserves. He has put in so much work for years now on the NA East region, and he always seems to fly under that radar. What more can do? And this is a respectable disengage, right? They come on in and say, oh, look, these guys are healthy. I don't know where's Clicks and Duke maybe, you know, let's get out of here.
Yep, but now you can see Rob, Bob, Kebab, and Walks trying to bring it over towards Chimp and Scram, towards the outskirts, and another team looming in the distance. That's Peppo and Runa. And another team coming from the Lighthouse. That could be Pamsto and Fatch. Who knows? Either way, we're going to have a house party in a couple moments.
Let's see it, the breakdown though. Looking for the chop here. It's held on by nothing, and now it starts toppling over, but there are players in the distance here making it tough for them, ruining their plans. But down come Chimp and Scram. So, okay, there is a little development here. They do get to reset. Blind shots into the bush. Robobs is like, hold my mini shield. Let me show you what I can do. And he hits some huge tags there.
Might be better now.
Peppo and Runa, though, are looking at Chimp right now, and they open fire, but no tags there.
Yeah, and you can kind of see Chimp and Scram. Chimp, you're talking about one of the most consistent players on the NA East region. He knows exactly what to do in a lot of these different situations. And he's just trying to get out. He realized so many teams are here. So many teams are trying to disrupt and kind of put their hand into the mix. And that's not something they want to be a part of. But that piece control and the peaks, the shots on the defensive end are huge for Chimp and Scram, because now that put that fear into Peppa and Runa. Do we continue to fight this off? Do we continue to lose health? As it looks like they're even trying to keep their distance.
Yeah, Chimp doing an excellent job defending here, but you know, a refresh would be even better in this instance. But the pressure comes in, he loses his shield, and they are starting to run out of gas here. Robob and Walks walk up to the wall. They say, hey, Chimp, we thought we forgot about you. But no, too much pressure from Runa and Peppo, and they leave the damage to them. And they go ahead and take this as a small W to Scram. Really left to defend himself here, and he's doing an excellent job.
This is going to be interesting right now, because everybody tried to disengage in a moment. But at the same time, they're so close together, there's only so much you can do. But Runa, he takes a huge amount of damage. They got to figure out a way to stabilize right here. But Chimp and Scram, they know so many teams are around. They don't want to bite off more than they can chew. They don't want to put themselves in a position they might later regret, as the shots are still coming in. Scram goes down. Chimp under siege. He's trying to figure out a way to survive. He has no fields left to his name. Rabab Kebab as well. Every single one of these players are now going to be stuck in zone.
This is crazy. Runa and Peppo start to fight back. They have the shield chug there, and it's going to allow them to go ahead and heal back up. And now they run in to the zone, hunting for Robot. Peppo's like, no, I want this fight. Robot plays the low ground. Runa comes to support, and all of a sudden he is trapped like a mouse chasing cheese, and it might just be all over here. 10 HP, moments are ticking. Runa's down, he's hurt, but Walks falls first, and Peppo gets the first elimination there for his duo.
1 HP for Runa. He got the med miss to stay alive. Can they? Okay, there's another rift there. I was going to say, I thought they were going to get the rift in time, but there's another rift there. Not too much to worry about for them. But every one of those teams that were fighting there that might not be the most healthiest are still going to have to go through Pamsto and Fatch. But on board, Belusi and Hyjo, they're feeling good. They got themselves a spot in his own.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a perfect time to catch up with Vivid with a mid-game analysis.
Guys, the action is popping off so much so that we missed the fight over here at Chrome Crossroads. Alex and Bailey haven't had the best of starts today, but game 5 here, they find these 2 early eliminations, and we know that they love to play the high ground. We want to show you guys these reactions. They're so happy to find this as well. The dances come out. We'll have to see what type of momentum this uses for them.
Excellent. And now we jump over with PH, Zen, and Ketos, who are sitting up on high ground, you know, hands off the desk, relaxing right now, just soaking in what an exceptional day it has been for them. They have played so well, and the zone is now going their way. So for the first time, we have this zone pulling far northwest. This is the backyard of King, Ed, Merim, of course, and Zagu here. Excellent players up top.
This could be actually a recipe for success for the Asian powerhouse, the Japanese team, to kind of take a big game and take up that first place spot right back. They're right now in center zone. They have the highest elevation in the lobby, and a couple teams all around in case Storm Surge does become a problem. As Commandment and Avery over still towards Grave Cave. They have launch pad to use. They have enough rotation. So they're going to be one of the last teams to leave the spot altogether.
And again, just excellent. Commandment and Avery coming off of Victory Royale, zone pulling their way. This is a perfect recipe to take that momentum and bring it on home. So we are watching several teams now literally catch a little bit of favor in the feed. Hellfire finds Booga, and down he goes, trouble in Chonkers down south. That's that late zone rotate, and that is what happens when the zone pulls far north. You could do your little dead side western rotates, but at the end of the day, there are players waiting there too. It's just textbook reads.
Oh, I saw in the feed there just a few seconds ago, Queasy and Vino, they were able to get a knock on to, I think it was Miram or Zagu there for a moment. Are they going to be able to kind of run up and clean it up? I think they got the elimination altogether.
Now keep in mind, Marine coming into that last game, they were in first and second tie beating, and they have fallen to 5th. So this is a huge opportunity here.
That's where you take it into your own hands, take full control of that one. And you can see he was just out of position. You cannot be out of position in a lobby like this. That is what is going to be a decision you regret for the rest of your life. But Miram, we see Zagu pick up a ton of points as a solo last game. Now it's Miram's turn to return the favor.
And you see what he does here. He recognizes, hey, wait a second.
That's scary.
Vino and Queasy might know I am the solo. I think I've been outed. Let me defend myself to the west and put all of my focus on Vino and Queasy so they do not sneak up. Excellent plays right there. Just smart play. We're seeing what Asia is capable of. Meanwhile, Seti, Cammy inside the storm. This is their home territory, dead center, more or less on the split. And now they get to hit that rotate.
PH Zen and Kitos from Brazil. We talked about them, 186 below the damage threshold, but they're a team that can pop off at a moment's notice. They have the most eliminations on players in the top 10 on 6. Look at that stat, flies up right when I'm going to read it right there. But the 189 below the damage threshold, that is so concerning for me, but it looks like Minton and Arthur are closing the distance. They might be below as well. This is between two teams, two powerhouses trying to land big shots. BHZin loses his teammate, 2v1 situation. Arthur and Mixon trying to get into the box.
This is the first time we see PHZin lose his teammate this early in the game. This is a huge development for him. And notice the problem is he didn't quite get to the zone early enough, and Z, Andy, and Joe capitalize on that solo opportunity, and PHZin falls. And now they have a chance to fall down to the standings here quite substantially. This is really beginning to open up and become much more interesting. And let's not forget, 5th place again is Mareem, left by himself as well. So this is the second game now too where the Japan duo is struggling here.
Yeah, and you can see outside of zone, 270 above damage threshold, and this is exactly the plays that you have to make, especially on a team that's looming into the distance. Basil in a 1v2 situation, he tries to peek and take a shot, but 2 prime shotguns are better than 1. They take him down in a blink of an eye. Baka trying to carry that momentum from the early game, but only 62 above the damage threshold. That's something that is looming in the back of their mind, and they haven't even left Chrome Jam Junction all game long.
That is true, and they have King and Ed, some of the regional dangerous fighters right there. We saw what Ed can do. He took out 2 of EU's finest by himself inside the storm while being pressured. Snacky returns a huge favor onto Duke there, so down he goes as Clix managed to find a trade too. So for them, it's still a tough situation, an even worse story unfolding here as Murstache and Malibuka are being lobby focused by Clix on the rotate now. So all around, tough spot to be in here. Murstache barely holds on and survives in, so no knock there. That could be the difference maker.
Thomas got 2 on the Hen and Vortex, not just 1. You see Fabs trying to reunite with Snacky. Malibuka and Murstache also in the distance. For them, that shield keg was absolutely needed, especially since they're only 67 above the damage threshold.
Oh, but I was just gonna say, soon we might have to turn our focus to Peppo and Runa. They find Clix right above Snacky and through. Cammy and Seti put the shield bubble on the boat, and they are gone with a clean rotate right up the river. That is just a 500 head play. Look at the play right here. We absolutely love to see these crazy strategies play out, and there's a reason they are up at the top.
This is just outside of the box thinking at its finest. That is the freest rotation I think we'll see all weekend long. And they're only 85 below the damage threshold. That's not much at all.
No, they're below. They don't have heals. This is a very tough spot to be in for Cammy and Seti as they have a true chance to once again break away with a big lead here. But they are, fighting with one hand tied behind their back.
Peterbot, shields get dropped. Clown finally goes down. Huge siphon for Peterbot. As this, like I just said, his shield just got dropped. Now you're looking at a short pad from Revsguard, trying to make it into zone. As soon as Peterbot hears that, he might try to recycle it, but nobody wants to leave this one just yet. 195 above. Peterbot ready for any challenge. Revsguard goes up and over around each other, and it does look like this might be the moment. They got blessed. Now they're going to try and disengage.
Now, when it comes down to N8 East players that know how to fight, Peterbot is one of the few that represent by doing the work, not the talking. He is one of our most leading elimination leaders on the NA East region in general. So for Revsguard to make the rotate out is an excellent decision there, but he is met with Pamsu and Fatch firing directly inside. But we jump on over to Cammy and Setties. The story continues here. They need a tag. They need more than that. Kanata opens the box. They look to fire back. Nothing comes out of it. And now they say, hey, we got to get to these boxes. Maybe it's more important. Maybe it'll be easier to box fight. But Cammy falls to Bad Sniper. And it's up to Seti to do it all. Can he get pretty much a full Elim worth of damage here? Oh, no.
I didn't mean to curse him. Luckily for him, no more. He instantly goes down. I was going to talk about the launch pads, the push game to shove, but now Joe and ZN, he found 2 more launch pads and so much room to work with as Malibuka and Merstash. 2 eliminations. No shield to work with. I'd say not much, but none at all to work with as Fast gets one on the swag as well. Malibuka and Merstash, they are in the most congested side of the map right now. They're going to need everything they got to try to stay alive, other than that launch pad. But with no shield on Merstash, that could be a risky play.
And what's crazy, remember, Cammy and Seti falling. They were in first place, 11-point lead over Trippert and Thomas. Third place of PA, Jin, and Kitos. We already talked about them just being completely devastated there. And here's the updated standing. Thomas, HD, and Trippert have a chance to catch up. Smite and Larson, Vino and Queasy as well. This is such a competitive FNCS Invitational. If we've ever seen one, especially after just 4 games, and now the 5th is unfolding before our eyes.
Top of the leaderboard, stacked like pancakes in a Waffle House right now. It's Thomas and Trippin, 2 eliminations at the edge of zone. And right now, there's so many teams on the outskirts. They can continue to peek and just put so much pressure on the lobby before they figure out what's next. The choices are definitely there. You see Acorn and Edgy, they're sitting clean. They found themselves a nice spot. Belusi and Hydro as well. Not too many teams on this side of the map, and this is what we would call the slower side, to where you don't have too much to worry about, especially if you're Acorn and Edgy and you're 676 above the damage threshold. That allows you that flexibility, that allows you options to pick and choose. Do you want to go ahead and put pressure on another team? Do you want to rotate around the map? The choice is now theirs. But a team that might not have those same choices is Malibuka and Merstash. They're only 105 above. We talked about the lack of resources that they have. So they're going to have to figure out something here. And you know as well as I do, they're going to have to look for a siphon. They're going to have to look for a refresh. They're going to have to look for a team to catch off guard and really pounce on them.
Let's see if they can do just that. 87 damage. It's good, but it's not good enough. Potentially here, 6 players are the difference between this surge continuing to stay online and turning off. Here it is, 3 seconds before the reveal. They're going to take the fight against Alex and Bailey. Alex and Bailey are multi-FNCS champions of the OCE region. Merstash and Malibuka looking to step up to this huge challenge here. Gotta be careful though, this is what they love to do! And a great tag here. This is why Merstash and Malibuka are some of the best. The Chrome Shield comes down though, and that'll buy them some time.
And right now, Storm Surge taking out a lot of these teams. If you get your shields cracked, they will hear it and they will go. As Malibuka from Merstash, they know the position that they're in. It's all or nothing because you can't make it too much farther with the resources that you have. Alex goes down, or takes down Threat. Merstash and Malibuka, they're going to be the ones that get all the loot because of it. As Baka and Almond trying to stay alive, they're trying to protect what's theirs.
And branch out, what? And a play here just to even play for territory to open up the domain right now.
Malibuka and Merstash met their demise. Both King and Hellfire get an elimination each, taking out one of EU's exciting teams is Queasy and Vino. Another exciting team coming in with all the momentum in the world, winning an EU Elite Cup, winning the NA East Elite Cup Finals back-to-back in the same day.
Great.
If that's not what you call preparation, I don't know what is.
And they're showing us why they're up at the top right now. And they are taking advantage. A northwest zone is excellent for a team like Vino and Queasy. They find Anas down low. That's going to be their 4th elim. Pink does not stand a chance if they decide to focus together, but it's more important for them to maintain the position right now. And this zone's going far. It's going to cut back towards Acorn and Edgy side. Scented and Cold have more of a dominant rotate here, and this is all shaping out to be a great game.
Look at that mountain. They got to go down the hill and then back up the hill. This is literally going to be a roller coaster ride of an end game. And if you don't have a launch pad, if you don't have chrome splashes, I wish you best of luck.
Well, we do know if you do, Cold and Scented go ahead and put the chrome splashes to the use here, to the test, and they jump right over that bush and into it. It's going to be a great spot. Meanwhile, everyone else takes to the high ground. Peppo finds an Elim, and Yumi is going to fall there too. He is the victim of the loot that we are watching get sniped up by Larson and Smite here.
You know, they called it though. They called it's going to start at the drop spot of Grim Gables. They take out Mud and Looter, and they keep things going. Repscar peaks at the right time, finds the shots on the Cool. Another elimination going over. This could be a moment for him to remember for the rest of his days if he can continue to clutch up big like that as Joe and Z-Andy trying to be the first team on the day to win 2 victory royales.
And Smite and Larson are still in the game as well. Vino and Queasy have the high ground. Queasy manages to crank his way on up, and that is what you call a well-executed launch pad play there to keep them in the run here, but there's still more points that they have to close out. Here goes Smite. He's going to go for the pad play. Z-Andy and Joe get to the front side of zone now. They rotate their way on out as well. And this is coming back off, way off the height. This is such a tough and just honestly difficult zone to play.
The Epic Games Fortnite roller coaster continues yet again. Down the mountain, up the mountain. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a loop-de-loop come through as Rep Guard's trying to catch one off guard, but it's he who gets caught off guard by Z-Andy.
And just like that, he is down and out. Trippin and Thomas HD, we get to get a little temperature check with them. They are on the mid-ground, right above Scented and Cold. Smite loses Larson on the rotate, and he is now left by himself. Just places away from 10th here. Can he hold on? Peppo does enough, but not enough to beat Vortexter. Here's Onwin and Baka. They have made such an excellent use of surviving their drop spot. Joe finds Noah. Down he goes, and Joe's hurt. 20 HP. This is not looking good.
Quick moving, quick thinking, trying to get out, but he gets caught at the tail end as Queasy and Vino. Zone after zone after zone. No matter where this roller coaster went, they stayed on top. Baka loses Onwin, but he takes down Bash. Back up against the wall. He gets 2. Baka gets 2. 7 eliminations for the NA West
duo. And he has shown you how good he is and why he deserves to be here. Even when he is counted out, he is showing up. But hold up, Scented, Cold now, back in the mix here. They already have done one, but can they get another? But Grolls and Ripsy are showing they finally have an end game, and they are making big do with it. There's a 3rd Elim, 30 points already earned in this round. Baka fights back, but Cold and Scented get to get all that sweet loot.
Yep, towards the low ground, along with Thomas HD and Tripprim. This one is going to get messy for everybody that's stuck down low. But for Vino and Queasy, they have the elevation. They have a huge advantage. Plenty of mats to work with. That's a recipe for success. But it's up to Cold and Scented and a few other teams to try to take down the high ground team.
And don't forget, Trippert and Thomas, who had a 10-point lead, is still here as well. Thomas HD wants more though. Down goes Grolls, and they are closing the gap. But he loses teammates. He's gonna fall. Top 3 now. Scented is still in the mix here, in the conversation, but no build. Big shot comes in from up top. And all of a sudden now, it is looking so dicey. Queasy is just waiting
for that perfect opportunity. They have the high ground. They drop down low. The game is theirs after they take down Bevy. That is game number 5, sealed up by Vino and Queasy.
And the biggest game we've seen so far in terms of elims, coupled with a victory royale. Huge 11-piece pickup right there for Vino and Queasy. Now think back to that interview when they sat there. Vino, very nonchalantly, hands behind his back. He said, "We are the best, undoubtedly."
EU takes yet another game. And honestly, this was the hottest team coming in to the FNCS Invitational. NA East, EU wins. And in that reign as well, they won about like 5 games in a row, I think. That's impressive.
That is right. Vino and Queasy are coming off some of the hottest streaks we have ever seen, and they managed to maintain that momentum. Let's just go ahead and tune in and see what's going on in their minds.
Yes, that's
But
right.
sitting-
I'm here. We got
sitting
game
in those
5 winners,
chairs
Queasy
for
and Vina.
Couldn't do
Queasy,
it all, not do
fantastic
it.
work there. Eliminations, an extraordinary end to game number 5.
Yeah. What else is there to say?
What else is there to say? I mean, the competition has been great to you guys today. You've had unbelievable work thus far. Scored a lot of points in this competition. How much are you enjoying your time here as well?
A lot, to be fair. It's amazing. Like the atmosphere and everything is just sick to be here.
Yeah, and we saw as well, Evino, we saw that obviously the storm moved
If he
up
said
mountains, down
no,
again.
though,
How
like-
integral is resource material management in situations like that?
It's very important, but it's also great getting refreshes. Me and Queasy got good refreshes. We kept our mats alive. We used our splashes well. We played that game really well.
Now you've got one game left today before we kind of pull the curtain down on day number 1. You seem to be feeling confident. You seem very laid back. Has it been a competition you
that was the-
expected, or
that
has
was
there
the
been other
best
things
game.
at work here that you didn't expect coming into this?
The Asia team
The
surprised
best
me.
team.
Yeah.
They've been doing really good. Brazil's been doing good. NE's not so good. But I think everyone's doing good, you know. And the competition's been good. No one's really been on high ground. And it's going well for us.
And you guys delivered the goods. One more time, give it up for Queasy and Vina, your game 5 winners. Let's head back to Zeke.
Cool, calm, collected, and memes. That is also how I live my life sometimes, occasionally. Queasy and Vino, we've watched them come so close to the top several times now, right? Almost making it, taking high grounds at those pivotal moments, but it hasn't quite lined up perfectly.
Well, guys,
and now
where's,
that it does,
Curry
it's not even
Fowler?
just the victory royale. It's also the 11 eliminations they put on the board.
Look, all day they've been trying to set themselves up for this match.
Alright,
We saw
back.
it in the beginning of this tournament today. I mean, they were going for high ground, they were going for the setup, but they just had these little
That's a good
mistakes that didn't permit them to get it. But now, they showed why they are one of the fan favorites coming into this tournament to take it home. The first duo to reach more
And the guys
than double-digit
in, like,
elims. They had 11 total eliminations, and it's what you love to see.
You know what? It doesn't happen by accident either. These guys have definitely seen some progression throughout today. We saw it in the previous game. We saw them go down to Surge. It wasn't ideal for them. This time, though, we saw them rotate all the way up towards those rifts, towards the top left, the very northwest side of the map, and they were aggressive. They were looking for those eliminations. Instead of sitting on those blimps, on those balloons at their drop spot, they were looking to be aggressive for Surge, and it paid off. We saw them take high in that 50-50 zone. Of course, I think Queasy had about, I don't even know how many mats, he had about 1,000 materials going into that second moving as well, so he's looking great.
Absolutely. We also have Kelly, who is standing by to chat with some of our players. Kelly, over to you.
Joining me right now, I am with Thomas and Tripper, and the team that is currently in second place on our leaderboard right now. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. We just need to keep on going, being consistent, and we'll make it.
Yeah, obviously consistency is the name of the
Oh,
game
he
right
looks
now. You
way
guys had
younger
a
than he
great game
sounds.
5, but how do you make that into a VR?
I don't know, like, we played mid ground most of the game. I think we should either commit it to high ground or low ground to win the game, but we're just playing for consistency, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and obviously consistency is working for you guys. You are doing a great job on the leaderboard. Good luck in the game 6. Guys, let's head on back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Shout outs to Thomas HG and Tripper, and they are currently holding
Yeah, there's
strong in
another
second place. And if you look at that little dash, that means they've not gone anywhere, right? And I do want to highlight them for just a single moment. 2 games back, we watched Malabuka go on an absolute tear, but then Tripper said, "Nah, son, this is my lobby. Take a seat," and that's how they're still holding strong. We have to kind of
Buka's
talk
just
about
not
the
doing
top
good, bro.
10 here, right? With only
Or
a
I'm just
single
really bad
game
because I
left to
don't see him.
go. We're setting ourselves up for tomorrow, right? And Thomas HG and Tripperin, they're looking real good.
I mean, they're looking more than good.
I'm
Zeke.
excited
Queasy and his duo partner were in the first place
How's it
spot,
gonna
but second
fall off
place,
tomorrow?
that's Thomas Tripper, and they are playing so well. Just looking at their highlights here, they're setting themselves up for the late game, and just now with the interview with Kelly, you saw they're still always thinking, right? What can change? What can we adapt to? How can we play better? How can we
Guys, I'm
take
so
home that
hungry.
trophy?
Yeah, and these are two
So,
very, very talented
so
solo players. For those that don't know the region very well, of course,
Zero
Trippin
at
and Thomas. Those guys are incredible solo players. We've seen solo clutch after solo clutch from both of them in the Elite Cups, in the Cash Cups leading before that, and they are just a dynamic duo when things go well. Sometimes things can be a little bit difficult for them when they do get split up. You know, they have to rely on the other person. We've seen that a little bit throughout the Elite Cups this season, but they're bringing it all together now, and oh boy, is it looking
good. I also want to talk about Smite and Larson. This is a duo coming from NA East, right? And they have 5 total FNCS Finals appearances together. Now, it's a lot, but it's also the fewest out of any NA East duo competing here today. But that is not showing because even though they have the fewest FNCS Finals appearances, they're in the top 3 right now in this event.
That's right. Everyone currently is looking, right, to just try and say, okay, look, the first 6 games, we just want a strong footing as we go into those next 6 games tomorrow. I guarantee you there's strategies, little things that these players are holding on to for those last 6 games. I do want to turn our attention back to the standings. We continue to kind of go top to bottom here, Mini Miner. Obviously, Queasy and Vino, massive, right, to now jump up into first place, up by 5 spots after that game. If it happens again, we could be in trouble.
We could be in trouble, and I think the rest of the lobby could be in trouble as well, because you don't want Queasy and Vino to be playing as good as they are. It all sort of formed together for them in that final game that we just saw right there. So if they're on form, they can definitely make a push for the top.
Yep, that's right. Kelly, you are standing by with some more players. Let's hear it.
That is right. I am joined here by Ed and King, our Brazilian region players right now. You can already hear the audience going crazy for you guys. Ed, I know that you recently got announced that you are represented by Team Liquid. How are you feeling about that?
Como você está se sentindo que você está sendo representado pelo time Liquid?
Eu me sinto incrível porque é time que eu sempre quis entrar e eu me sinto muito realizado de estar na Team Liquid.
I'm really excited to be in this team, and I always dreamed of being in it, so I'm really excited about it.
And I'm sure they're proud of you. Thank you so much. And then, of course, King, you've been around since the World Cup days. What is it like to be back here on the stage?
¿Cómo te sientes estar de vuelta acá?
Para português ou espanhol? Okay. A verdade é uma experiência incrível. Eu não tinha faz, sei lá, uns 3 anos quase. E voltar a jogar lá é uma experiência muito boa e vamos tentar dar o melhor.
I'm really incredibly excited to be here. I mean, it's been about 3 years, and I'm excited to be back.
I mean, I know that Argentina and Brazil are proud of you guys right now. Thank you for joining me with a quick interview, and let's head on back to the desk.
I don't know if you guys can pick up the hype coming through these mics from everyone who is repping Brazil, but every time you see King, you guys are allowed to get hyped. That's cool. I see y'all up in that corner. That's right. Ed and King sign. They're holding up the flag. You love to see it. Now, really quickly, as we gear up for game number 6, we come back to the standings, right? Currently, we see Cammy and Seti. They keep kind of ping-ponging, right? They have a really strong game. Then they have a game where they, funnily, throw a shield bubble on a boat. One of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. But then can't transition that because of the shambles positioning. So what has kind of been happening?
I mean, it's Fortnite, right? It's hard to predict what's going to happen next because you have so many opponents changing their playstyle and adapting to the same match you're in. But knowing Cammy and Seti, they know how to deal with it, right? They can adapt stronger than their opponents that they're facing against, and it's all about doing it in the most effective way possible.
Yeah, Storm Surge for this duo at the moment is kind of a little bit of a problem, of course. So many teams that I noticed they were fighting on the edge of zone. Not many teams are rotating in early on enough, and I think that makes Cammy and Seti run into a few issues, right? Because they're, of course, landing in a very central position. They rely on a lot of teams rotating in into their domain to get their Storm Surge. Of course, we saw it with the boat rotators. Well, the boat-tate, as we call it. We can call it that. But yeah, they were looking strong. But of course, when you have that shield bubble, you can't shoot out as well. So they were lacking on the surge tags in that end game. And unfortunately, they didn't quite have it. So they got a little bit desperate. Things didn't work out too well. Seti, I was hoping...
Hey guys, I'm going to be right back. I just need a...
That's right. And it's okay, right? It's fine. We're still sitting in top 5. Everything is okay. We've got 1 game left to go with a single game left. What are some adaptations we're hoping to see? Because remember, this is it for the day, and then we have all night to VOD review. We go back to the hotel, we try and get more games in, we talk to our coaches, our duo mates, etc., and come back stronger tomorrow.
Look, you said it yourself, right? It's 1 game, but it's really 7 games left, right? This is the last game of the day and 6 more to be played out tomorrow. This last match is just about doing it the best you can, and when you're really going to be reviewing, studying, seeing what you can change up is going to be overnight for day 2.
Yeah, this is such an important game for these teams, right? Especially if you're looking for a little bit of a change up. So for these teams that are thinking, you know what, let's try and change things up in day 2, this is the time. This is the time to test things out, because what better practice than the lobbies themselves? I mean, we saw it with Vico and Marine as well, of course, landing at the Tilted Towers area. area. They've sort of shifted their rotation over towards the reality tree. We saw them fighting out there. Of course, Vico doing so well to close out those eliminations on the team that were landing there. And they're switching things up. And they're a prime example of a team that's thinking, you know what? Things aren't quite working out at Tilted. As we know, it's a bit busy. So let's switch things up. Let's go to the reality tree. And that's ultimately what these teams are hopefully going to be doing.
That's right. A lot of these duels, man. Look at them. Look at the focus. They're waving to the camera, which we love and appreciate. But they are lasered in. They're thinking to themselves. They understand, right? With one game left, okay, what are the things we need to do to accomplish? What do we need to just kind of say, look, this is it. We left our mark, and we can walk away happy. I think for me, Zago and Mero, like this team that we saw pop off, they've kind of gone a little bit radio silent. What do we think is happening here?
I mean, we've seen them. They've been having a bit of trouble
Can
doing
you hear me now?
enough damage or even staying close together. I've seen 2 times now. One of them, Miriam, was left alone, and the other is Zagu was left alone, having their duo partner get eliminated. So I'm not sure if it's because they're not playing together enough, if rotates have changed from their opponents and it's cutting them off while they're trying to get to zone. Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities, but they really have to focus on seeing what went wrong.
Guys, can you guys hear me? Like,
they were trying though. Of course, they made a really solid.
They probably can. Like, I changed it, but like.
Just the best position on the map. I know you mentioned Takata. They were a little bit split, right? They didn't quite execute it to perfection. Of course, Queasy and Veno, they decided, you know what? Let's just take them out. We'll take this position, and ultimately that's what won them the game. But it's just a little bit of confidence, maybe a little bit dropping potentially with this duo. We saw it early on.
Guys, can you hear me now? Is it better? Like,
so impressive.
okay, guys, we need likes. Like, guys, we don't even have 1 like. Like, come on, guys, bro. Probably all watching this stream after I'm done. It better get like things, cause like.
Guys, I want to see more of their aggression.
Yeah, and they're kind of reminding me of a Queasy and
I'm so
right?
hungry,
Like,
though.
they're doing what Queasy and Vino are doing. You watch on the high ground, you're like, okay, Queasy's
Those
up
bodyguards,
there.
bro?
If
Of course
there's
those
one person up
bodyguards.
there, they're tarping, they're not doing anything, and then suddenly there's someone knocking on your wall like, hi, it's me, Vino. I'm just going to pick up both of you. Thanks. Like, they are capable of this, so I'm not ready to count them out. I think, like, you're saying, there's just a couple things they need to shore up, and then they're going to get right back to it, right? Is there anybody else you guys are seeing that you're like,
What the heck?
I want to see more of this dude. I want to see more of that dude.
Look,
Was the
clutch in a late game, but directly after got taken off.
Whatever,
out of
bro.
the spawn, right? Baka and On1 eliminated both
I saw this
players
kid
there,
before.
but I kinda
He's
saw
been here the
flames
whole time.
in his eyes, right? Mr.
Let's go,
Savage
bro.
was
Because
getting
of
ready.
legend.
He was feeling good, and I'm hoping
Mr. Savage,
that he
bro.
can come out on top in one of these next early games and show what he's really made of.
Yeah, he's got that experience, right, of in-person events, and you can sort of see it in the swagger, the way he plays. Like, you know what? I've been here before. I mean, look at Chris.
Yeah, bro, you got his neck.
I want to be.
Ow, bro, that hurt.
And it's reflecting his game.
Anyways,
He is
yeah,
really,
bro, he's the coolest
taking the game
person
to stop. He is
alive.
really popping off in the end game. He's performing, and he's not showing any signs of nerves. He's really just.
Guys, we'll be right back.
We're
Peace.
seeing 2v1s. We're seeing some crazy clutches, and that's what you need at this level. You need to have those individual pop-offs because without it, you can't make your way to the top of the level.
And on screen right now, we've got Reet and Epic Whale. In case you didn't know, Epic Whale, a 6-time FNCS champion, paired up with Reet, who's on controller, representing controller gang. We have this duo has actually been pretty quiet, right? Over in NA West, we've seen, it's a much slower game overall and a slower meta. And now, when we're trying to get way more aggressive, feels like Reet and Epic Whale maybe need to kick it up too, slow.
I mean, I'm wondering what's happening because I was watching this duo practice, right? In the player lounge, they're prepping themselves, getting ready.
But guys, sorry for the sound quality, but like, it's just like that. So like,
in the mid game before the mid game even started, they were playing aggressive and they were doing it right against the opponents they're competing against today. So I'm wondering what happened, but we'll have to see if they adapt today too.
That's right. Really quickly, hanging out in the player lounge, we've got Adam Savage standing by.
You have indeed here, Zeke, but I am joined by the one and only Cease, everybody! Cease, we've talked so much about you in the past. It's great to see you here at the competition. How has it been for you? One of our backup players this weekend. How great has it been to be around the crowd, the players? How much have you enjoyed this?
It's been a pleasure, man. I mean,
but guys, where are the views? At least 10 views. Like, we need to at least get 10 people watching. Like, when it's live.
Experience and feeling to be here.
What's it been like, the vibe with the
Oh,
players
like,
as well?
why
So
do
to kind of spend some time with them. The player lounge is right behind us as well. What's on the
I know I make crazy content, but like,
amongst the players from your perspective?
Still, bro, I put so much
Man, these guys are locked in, especially some of these EU players.
headphones on, listening to music.
Yeah.
They don't play around.
No, they are focused. What does this mean for the community as well? A competition like this, like FNCS Invitational, it seems it's been massively well received.
Dude, I mean, we've been waiting for this to happen. I mean, obviously COVID delayed things so much since World Cup, but it's such a great time to experience, like, see all the fans and see the whole community, the whole competitive scene all together in one area. It's awesome.
It's really awesome. And you're awesome too.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. One more time, give it up for Cease, everybody! What legend. Let's go back.
Cease, one of just the coolest people I think I've ever met. Got to hang out with him a couple times over Media Day. Legitimately one of the coolest people, so thankful that he could be here. I want to set the stage here for us. Once again, we take a look at the top 10 coming into this game. Now, please don't try to freak out. Your Brazilian team in 10th place. PHZin, Kitos right now sitting on the tiebreaker.
Here we go. Next game.
For Texters and Bevies.
Coming right
I
up.
want to talk about this duo, Beja and Kitos. They have 25 FNCS Finals appearances. PHZin alone has 4 FNCS championships, and Kitos with 1 for a total of 5 together. This is a duo that dominates their region, and seeing them in top 10 internationally on the stage, it's really something you love to see.
Yeah, they're no slouch as well. I've been doing a little bit of voting, having a little look at how they play, and oh boy, are they aggressive. They're very, very confident in the way they go about things, and of course, in endgame as well, they're looking strong. What they often do is they rotate towards the front side of the first moving zone, just to get ahead of all the other players. And that's why we're seeing them really making the most of their materials, right? They don't have to build, they don't have to make those tarps into the front side because they're already there. It just shows that there's different strategies that maybe we haven't seen too much of that are really on show today.
That's right. We saw him in 8th place there.
Perfect, like again, bro.
Once again, Edgy,
Yeah, it's just
always
like
hitting that 2nd place. Now, of course, 2nd place is still absolutely incredible, but he wants that 1st place. He wants to do it on a stage like this.
Look, but if he's able to keep getting 2nd places and it's able to get them that trophy, I think it's okay, right? As long as you're able to consistently get those points, make your way up the leaderboard, it's what you want to see.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Raleigh, North Carolina, y'all need to make some noise because this is the last game here of the day. This is game number 6 of the FNCS Invitational. Let's run it one more time.
Oh, guys, last game.
Here we go. Game number 6 is just moments away, and we get to close out this crazy day 1.
Yeah, and you're already seeing from game number 1 all the way till here, it is action-packed, and that action continues to improve, and it continues to get better each and every game that we watch.
That's right, and listen, Fortnite is at its best when we get to see everyone go head-to-head from all of our favorite regions, but listen up. There
come on, GPU, turn
in
on.
front of us, which means
Yes.
there's no time to lose out now if you want to be set up for day 2.
Turn on the
Yeah, and
fans.
honestly, if you didn't necessarily have the best day, don't worry, because game number 6 is about to start. And if you are at the bottom half of that leaderboard, it's not always how you finish, or it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And a lot of these teams, they can finish strong.
Well, listen up. Let's give it up one more time for game 6 here for our players as we start to load onto this battle bus. Here we go.
Booga's still there, bro. Never mind. Never mind. I don't know if he's doing that good, bro.
And a good chance for an off-spawn Cloudy Condos. 5 games we didn't see too much. Or 4 games we didn't see too much, but in that 5th game, that's when we saw a lot of activity. And it helped a team like Malibuca and Mustache, who wasn't necessarily in the fight. They got the surge and they got out right away.
That's right. Well, listen up as things start to get
Because I had that
ready
loading
here
screen,
and we
bro. I had
settle
that
in.
loading
Looks like
screen.
we're going to have to gear up this battle bus one more good time. And it wouldn't be a fun event if we didn't just give you a little bit more airtime for some of our favorite players while we were at it. So give us a moment here. Take a look at the focus of our players. Jacob, we have ourselves still one more game left today.
Yeah, and just take note, that victory royale
What's
there
up, bro?
from
What's up?
Queasy was his 8th straight finals with a VR. That is impressive. That means Queasy and VRs go together in finals.
You know
like
how
peanut butter
expensive
jelly,
each of those
spaghetti, and
cameras are,
meatballs.
bro?
They are a
Like,
duo,
those are like
so you
buff
better watch out,
cameras.
Not only that,
Each of them,
Nino
bro,
was
like,
talking about how NAEs
it's a lot of cameras.
I was looking at that top 10. I saw 3 NAEs teams on that top 10 leaderboard. But not only that, they are 3 contested NAEs teams showing up.
So there really has been some crazy performances and put-ups, but let's go and send on over to the analyst desk.
But this guy, like, I love this guy.
Thank you guys so much. Sorry about that. We're making sure all of our players are on that battle bus and ready to go. We cannot miss anyone on this pivotal game here in game number 6, the last one on the day. Now, if you're just tuning in, welcome. This is the FNCS Invitational. You've missed a lot, but hey, we're happy you're here now. And there's a lot to talk about. Starting with Queasy and Vino. These guys have been absolutely running the EU region as of late.
I missed quite a bit
now, after
before.
winning that last game, 11 eliminations, they're sitting pretty in first place.
I mean, they were the first duo to break.
But I have a question. Why do none of these dudes have gaming glasses, bro?
Previously being 8 eliminations, but now 11 for this duo.
Like,
I mean,
where's the gaming glasses?
Vino, Queasy and Vino, incredible.
Why do they not have broken eyes after today, bro?
How good is this guy, right? We got 17 eliminations on the day today. That is the most of any individual player, and consistently, FNCS final after FNCS final, this guy is doing the most damage in the lobby. He is an incredible fragger. We can see it. 5,932 damage dealt.
Like,
That's a lot of damage that he's outputting, and
5,932.
it's really helping. We saw it in that previous game. We saw the refreshes. He's helping them out so much, and when you have a high ground playstyle like they do, he's really putting on a show.
Yeah, and we've watched a lot of the moments, right, where, again, it's like Vino just says, oh, Queasy, you need me to go eliminate a threat? Yeah, man, I'm down. Like, let me just hop down there, get a bunch of refreshes, and bring all the stuff back, and then we're ready to go again.
Guys, I'll be right
but I
back.
think, too, I think Vino has actually shown quite a
I'll be
bit
right
of, he's evolved as a player, right? When Vino first hit the scene, he was just this, like, aggressive player. He's like, I want to W key every single person in my face. But now he understands, like, okay, this may not be the moment, but when that moment arrives, I promise you I will be knocking on your wall.
Look, not only having the strong mechanics, but also that strong mentality, it's what you need to be a top-tier professional player. But I want to see if any of these other duos are going to be able to contest the high ground as much as they have been doing, especially in day 2, which, with more time to adapt, right? We have duos like Alex and Bailey coming from OCE. I mean, at one point, I believe they had On Height in their name, right? Because of how much they like going for the high ground. So I'd like to see some more teams up there going for the clouds and seeing what they can really do. But we mentioned it, right? Vino, his progression of play. I think his
bro, guys, sorry for the bro. Yeah, I can't get the audio. That's no one. I have to turn up.
Tundra IGL. So he's not necessarily taking on the IGL role in this duo, but he has the brain to take it on.
That's right. Another duo sitting here in your top 10. It's Thomas HD and it's Tripper and Thomas HD. For those of you that have not followed the EU scene, if there is a sniper in the game, you might as well just rename that sniper to Thomas HD Sniper, because this guy does not miss, and if there's a sniper in his hands, he will find every single angle, even if it's a pixel on the screen.
This dude's the same as me.
And it shows. He has the most damage dealt out of any player here today, and if there were snipers in competitive currently, I'm sure he'd not only have the most damage, but also the most elims with those headshot snipes we'd like to see him get.
Yeah, it's interesting, because of course, Thomas HD is widely regarded as the best sniper, and we got a chance to talk to him. Me and Vivid, we were behind the scenes, and we spoke to him. We were like, Thomas, are you sad about the removal of sniper? You think that it's bad, but he was like, no, I love it. I think it's great. So he's adapting his playstyle. Not only is he incredibly good with snipers, also when they're not in the game, it enables them to get so many more surge tags. Of course, you can overpeak. You don't have to worry about getting that 200 damage to the head.
Last game,
you can overpeak, and you can see it right now. They're getting the surge tags early on. They're getting the mid-game rotations perfectly on point, and they're playing the mid-ground layers as well. They just bounce off each other so well.
And I'm curious to see what they're thinking about now, right? Being in that top 3 spot with just Queasy and Vino right above them, right? It's all about figuring out what they can do to overcome their opponents, right? The consistency they need tomorrow to get the trophy. What will they change? What can they do? Or maybe they'll just, keep playing the same, hope they make less mistakes, and that's all they have to do.
Yeah, I mean, we know Thomas HD is kind of one of those players that says, like, I have to be the best. And if I'm not the best, I will continue to grind until I am. You pair him up with Tripper, who's just mechanically insane. I mean, we've watched him shut down Malibuca, right? When he's in situations where he's by himself, he still finds points. He finds high placement. So it's cool to see these guys finally come together. They've been doing for like 3 seasons, 4 seasons since the beginning. I don't even know at this point.
Okay, I'm just gonna do some testing. Tell me if you can hear.
And then we have other newly formed duos, right? King and Ed, first tournament competing together, and they kind of have that synergy disadvantage, right? That some of these other duos might have.
Guys, we need review.
It's not showing, of course. We can see them popping off every
like,
single time,
guys,
particularly that Ed
get this video to 10
that
likes.
we saw earlier on.
That'll be the
I know guys
highest
at the back
like
there
we can
really,
do.
really liked that one.
Please,
They were
guys,
cheering
it's
a lot
not
for
that
it.
much.
That's right, my friends. We're drawing ever
Please,
closer.
guys.
We're just counting
It's
heads,
not
making
that
sure
hard.
everyone's on that bus.
Make
Once
my
again,
whole year
we don't
go.
want to leave anyone behind. We want to make sure
please,
everyone
guys,
is here,
like
ready
the video,
to go. You can
share,
see it on their screens.
subscribe
They're
if
getting
you haven't
prepared.
yet.
And I
Or
just got to
just
say, it's
please,
been an
guys.
honor and a pleasure to be here with this amazing crowd here at the Raleigh Convention Center. You guys are just
You guys are
losing
the
your
best,
minds, and
but
that's what I love to see.
we need to take
That's
this up,
right,
so.
that's right. We have one game left to go. And guess what? I'm getting word. It is that time. Game number 6 of the FNCS Invitational starts right now. Let's do it one more time here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It is game 6 of the FNCS Invitational. Jacob, we get to close out day 1 soon.
And this is going to be a huge closeout event. 5 games, 5 different Victory Royale teams coming out on top, just going to show that it's honestly anyone's game at this point.
That's right, and we've seen so much new attempts and ways for this to all play out. We gave the players time to go ahead and think about how they want to strategize, but here it is. Let's see if it was all worth it. Game 6 in front of us. Once again, let's make some noise for our players as they take forward the battle bus.
And that time that you were talking about for preparation has run out. Everybody now taking their position on the map. We've seen wonders over towards Chrome Jam Junction. We've seen so many fights go down towards
Okay,
Fort
I'm
Jonesy
back.
as well. But honestly, interesting enough, neither of them involved these 2 teams going at it off spawn.
Not only that, the coast has 2 teams as well, so there's so much going on in this area. We've seen it play out a few times now, round after round, but this is a first take at Clix and Duke not necessarily being right on top of their opponents, thinking enough there. They've given each other some space, and this is, you know, honestly, last game 5, sir, it just makes sense. Everyone wants to take it slow and try to play this one out.
Yeah, that's respect to them too, because they know the position that each of them are in. You know what I mean? If you go ahead and take that fight and it doesn't go well for either one of you, that's kind of throwing away that game. So they want to split the loot and try to get more on their path to the center of the zone. But just like very many games before, we're going to have a little bit of a northern zone, which looks like it bode well for Queasy and Vino yet again.
Can you believe Smite and Larson are in 3rd place being contested at the Grim Gables? What a way to play some Fortnite today for them. It looked like it was all over when you viewed the paper and you crunched the numbers, but they have really turned all that lemon into lemonade.
Yeah, I believe they lost game number 1, but I think that was the game 1 jitters of an international stage. The first in-person Fortnite event in quite a long time. They shake those off, and they're rising to the occasion. NA East, best hope right now to close out day number 1 with a top spot. You can see Vico over towards Reality Tree. Lost ride pretty early, and that was me taking Novice, who also land over here.
Hey, listen, I'm from the Bronx. I know all about being scrappy. Vigo and Moran are clawing their way out of the mud here, officially breaking back into top 20 with those 2 elims right there. That's a big point swing for them. It's going to mean all the difference. What's wild about these 2-day formats is anything can happen right now. We have seen teams just in this bubble area range jump all the way back up. You have to stay consistent. Larson might get defended off of their drop effectively. They're pushed out by Muzz and Looter. So that fight will continue. We jump on over to Savage and iDrop versus Bakken on one.
Not that 50-50 we saw before. This one's going to be a little bit prolonged, and I think that kind of sits a little bit better for iDrop and Mr. Savage, simply because iDrop knows this POI like the back of his hand. He knows exactly where to get the loot. He knows where a lot of the chests are. He knows every single thing, and he also knows any pathing in order to disengage in a lot of these fights. But it does look like the TSM duo Epic Well strikes first, taking down Scented.
That's a big elimination right there, as well as Scented and Cold, and one of the few NA East teams inside of that top 10. And for them to fall to the hands of Epic Whale just around the Tilted Towers is definitely not a part of the plan. Marine finds Falconer in the feed there.
But
it's not
Peterbot
that late.
and Jamper looking to continue their battle here. We talked about these contested coastal battles, and now we get to see it unfold for the first time from the beginning.
So hungry.
Going up against Jace and Basil. So this is going to be an interesting one because sooner or later you cannot continue to go down. The chest is down there, and that's where Basil's at, and he's actually just trying to get out. He's trying to escape. You already know that he lost his teammate, trying to do wonders as a solo and finish off the day strong, because that's the thing. FNCS NA East Chapter 3 Season 3. After day 1, Commandment and Avery were in 9th place. Day number 2, they had the comeback for the Ages to take the top spot as Peterbot takes the elimination.
Nice,
flies high
nice.
to the sky, just a little too high. The shots are coming in. He's finally able to land on his 2 feet and try to stabilize.
And that's what Peterbot is known for. Armwood and Baka, though, fight back here. The last time they won their drop, they turned that into a monstrous endgame. And now,
No,
not
Savage,
already down.
No, bro.
Can they do it?
In the mix here. Actually,
Not
Savage
Savage,
is on
not
the run
Savage.
right now.
Yes!
Oh, he's going to be able to get out alive, but you on one
Let's
and
go,
Baka
bro. Let's
want
go,
to chase him. There's so many
let's
other
go,
teams in the mix as well, including Brazil's very own King and Ed, where they're at in the leaderboard right now. They want to start getting aggressive. They want to take the game into their own hands.
Ed and King here, trying to do something big. We haven't quite seen them put up the numbers on show yet. You can see right there, King attempts to hit some shots, but does fall slightly short. And now options in front of him. Does he go for the duo below? But no, instead he's going to go and hunt down the solo. This is by far the better play, but the reboot is starting to come out from Mr. Savage. Will he get eye drop in time? King arrives just there to maybe play spoiler.
But again, this fight over towards Cloudy, it's those same 2 teams, while Malibuca and Mustache are always trying to find an angle so that way they can get the damage they need for Storm Surge and try to get out alive. And I think Ed even found Peppo somewhere, but no, they're actually chasing down Mr. Savage, and they're going to clean that one up. That is huge.
And King get their first 2 eliminations onto Mr. Savage and eye drop here in game number 6. Huge deal for him right there. And lucky for us, we are hot on the replay. Take a look there, out the sky. Ed wastes no time. He says, King, you might have missed some shots before, but I got your back.
That was a huge outside of the box play. They could have easily pushed Mr. Savage, got the elimination, and got 2 points. Done. Over with. Easy. They allowed Mr. Savage to get the reboot off, got the elimination on eye drop, got the elimination onto Mr. Savage, and got 4 points instead of 2.
That's right. Way to play big there. And they need it.
Big break
now,
play.
Back to Larson and Smite. They could have left this battle, but they've won so many times already. They decide, hey, let's stick around, let's fight Buzz and Looter. Ooh, a big 86 on Looter as he tries to go on up. Smite was waiting with the side angle there. Larson now has just enough time to get back with Smite. They're going to be trading minis here. As you saw, Larson's inventory was definitely short. Here it is, that little exchange, the material count 2.
And honestly, if you're Smite and Larson, though, winning every single one of these fights except for game number 1, you have no reason to leave. It's up to Muzz and Looter to try to change up their plan while you have a hot Larson and Smite on their heels. Zagu is going one-on-one with Hellfire. This is for a huge finish for Zagu because right now they sit just a little bit down low on the leaderboard more than they would like.
And what's crazy about this is how the region plays. This is how Asia gets down.
That's terrible.
They will W. They play aggressive, they play fast Fortnite. And although it has been a day of performance in end games for Zagu and Marine, this is where he does best. Put him in a one-on-one, put him in a head-to-head, and look at how quick he is able to capitalize. No, shots come in from the distance. It's not looking good. He's going to have to pause down here. He does have some white heals, but that will kill all the momentum, unfortunately. It's Commandment and Avery with a dual angle here.
You can see where are their strategy, landing over towards Rave Cave. They're trying to go to the slower side of zone. They're trying to go as far north as possible, but they're going to go east first before they make that happen, trying to clean up a quick elimination, or what they think could be a quick one at that, but the shots continue to come in. Storm doing work as well. It's only a matter of time. Hellfire is going to be able to clean that one up.
Hellfire slides in and down goes Japan's best there. Zagu and Mareem sent back to the lobby, back to the drawing board to rethink for day number 2.
Bro, what's gonna happen?
FNCS Invitational. That's how quickly things can change.
Yeah, Hen was already down. Now they're just trying to find the second half of that duo. Joe and Z Andy, one of 5 teams to get a VR on the day. But Vico somehow took down Avery. They were waiting. They were trying to hunt down the team, and it was them who ended up getting hunted. But Joe and Z Andy, they don't want to let this team out of their sight. They have at least 1 elimination against players from 6 different regions. That's the most of any duo, and that goes to show how adaptable they truly are.
That is right. Vortex is a solo. As we touched on, Hen is out the lobby. You can see the look of focus on his face here. He recognizes, oh, big read there. He finds a make it right in the nick of time. He should get it off with about 2 HP left. That's going to be a huge save for him. Meanwhile, Sensen and Cold now making their move. Like we said before, they have been somewhat contested, right? Their draw spot. Maybe not going head-to-head against Pars and Raze there, but possibly trading out some loot. You can see it kind of coming into effect here as the loadout's very much not quite where you want it to be.
And that's an Acorn and Edgy sitting on top of the blimp, being that nuisance. As Cold and Sensen, they have to rotate right back in the way they came from. See if he's gonna make it happen. They're actually taking some elevation right now. This could be huge. Oh.
Very interesting for them to go up to high ground here. This is such a risk, right? But of course, you never really know. They want some of that loot. Look at that. They get to the boat. They steal some leftover loot. That's gonna be a huge situation.
This music's in the copyright, so.
Muzz and Looter. You can see a replay here. Remember, this is up against Smite and Larson, and Muzz turns this around. 3rd place, Smite and Larson now effectively dropped.
Yeah, for them, though, you got to give them credit. 128 points on the day. They've done wonders. And now they get to sit back, relax, collect their thoughts, and plan for day number 2 while everybody else is kind of going through this minefield of chaos, which is game number 6. And like I said, from game number 1, where you have 95 players alive when Storm Surge activated, the lobby is now feeling themselves out. They're feeling a little bit more comfortable to try to attack in these moments. Tripper to Thomas sitting on top of the blimp, just trying to get the Storm Surge, so that way when they do find another rotation, eventually it's going to be their focus, where they don't have to go ahead and hunt the damage. They can go ahead and do exactly what they want when they want.
Let's take a look at Yumi and Cool here on the move. Some of our greats from NA West right now, they have really represented today.
They did.
They have found their moments.
I'm proud.
They've caught their highlights.
Panda's probably proud of the crowd too.
Oh yeah.
Golden Sensen now changing their rotation yet again. Don't want to go to Acorn and Edgy anymore. They got the heals that they wanted out of the vault, and now they're trying to find another way around. And for them, they need scraps. They are in shambles right now, and there's another team right in front of them. They spotted them out, and that would have been a great sneak attempt coming out from Sensen and Cole, but now they have to think of plan B.
It's crazy. Cole gets caught out by Thomas HD. Thomas HD, Mr. 6,000 damage coming into game 6 here and adding to the chart here. Joe Ben's going to be the victim of a few shots there, but not enough for Sensen to claw out of this tough situation he is in. Now, mind you, NA's 3rd place Larson and Smite are down. Cold and Sensen were in 5th coming
because I know the quality, the sound quality sounds bad, but just like, no, I'm just trying my best.
It's going to be Acorn and Edgy, who came into this game in 8th place, but in the distance, Sensen sees Fabs and Snack. He sees Joe and Z Andy trying to get his Storm Surge damage up while being in the storm without any heals, but luckily enough, his escape plan, you can already see it, it is going to be that launch pad.
He's playing a very dangerous game here. He's already been tagged for whites there. There it is. He doubles back now, protects himself as well. There's a med kit.
Okay.
He knew that.
Try to get Sensen's card, likely.
There it is. Okay. Time to med off. He will have enough time. Will he play for the reboot is the true question. We'll find out soon. On the other side, Zeet and KBR are still alive right now. 39 above. They're looking pretty solid. Seti finds Jamper in the feed. Peterbach goes down too. So that's had to be an Eastern edge zone rotate that just did not go their way.
Yeah, and that south side of the zone right now is just going to become so congested. You're going to have to figure out another way to try to rotate around as Chicho's trying to find some damage. Barely gets above the damage threshold. Gets a knock on the Rapid in the distance as well. And you see some other shots coming through. They know that that player is under pressure. Now the lobby is now taking hands and trying to take him out all together. Bevies is now joining the fray along with Vortexers as well. Andalix has his back up against the wall. He's trying to survive, and Alex and Bailey are also rotating in. It's going to be such a hard way for him to try to survive.
This is such a tough spot to be in right now, as it's all going down. Our 10th plate, PH Zen, looks like he falls in the feed there too. It's looking extremely desperate now for Brazil right now.
And Booga, come on, bro, you got this.
Here's Booga.
But I want Booga, Sambuga, or
they're gonna heal up.
Mr. Savage.
They want to get out of here. This is a little too dicey for them now. Lopez gonna get them right to
Duels.
the safe zone. Pretty decent.
I want
It's a
them
great
to
spot
win,
to
bro.
be in right now.
I
They're
do.
okay on the surge, but they could use a refresher
Also
here.
Booga.
Plenty of options up to be served as well. Hellfire looks like he found Avery. Hellfire was a solo in the zone way north as Kamam and Avery were pointing inwards, and look, Avery fully finished there. The surge possibly finishing the deal.
Yeah, that's not good. You can kind of see why they rotated out of Rave Cave, trying to third party some of those fights, but they ended up getting snuck on, which probably turned their entire story around as Booga and Mira trying to get in towards the zone. Focus of Alana begins. Can Booga try to survive? 43 HP and a dream. Miro's there to try to alleviate some of the pressure, and it does look like it's going to stop.
That was tough. Very, very close right there. Usually when that happens, it's all over, but luckily the teams decided no, it's the last game. I can't burn all my resources if I cannot pick up the loot, so everyone slows down. For Taste and Chopsticks, they are very much comfortable right now. No pressure on them, but there's a lot of players in this vicinity here. Movement, little scarce.
And on the Macwood over there, Pars and Rays surviving as well. Cammy and Seti trying to take that top spot back. You hear the analysts, they're having great games, and then they're kind of having a little slip-ups here and there. But luckily for them, this is day number one. As long as you keep it competitive, you'll be in the mix. And look at our top four. Top four is all EU right now, Monster.
That is right. 21 points for Cammy and Seti to catch up to Vino and Queasy. But that top three is just European territory right now. Vino, Queasy, Thomas HD, Tripburn, and of course Cammy and Seti all fighting for that top three currently. It's what you expect. We've seen a lot of our community folk really put those three up in the standings and wait for them not to let down the fans.
Right. I think Malabuka Mustache might be low on Storm Surge. Yet again, being one of the three teams over towards Cloudy Condos. Nobody really going at it off of spawn, but a team that doesn't have much to worry about. You saw them high at the top of the blip, Acorn and Edgy, almost 500 above.
So guys, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but my GPU is like making kicking sounds because it's so hot.
Although Malabuka and Mustache
Just if you
are
want.
contested, being below the surges means that, hey, that first game was a wake-up call. We can't just go battle. Aqua and crew will just come in third party.
You can't really hear it.
But look at this. Thatch finds Malabuka there. That's a huge one. And now we get to see Ed and FaZe King's perspective here. King from Argentina, Ed from Brazil. Right here, right now. Two Elims already potentially going head-to-head against On1 in Baka. The young duos from NA West. No, the peak, the punishment. Down goes Baka.
Is this going to be able to get it, though? It doesn't look like in the minimap that they're going over. So, yeah, you are correct. He is going to get a second chance at life as On1 is placed in the top 10 in every FNCS final he has played in. Trying to put NA West on his back along with Yumi and Cool, Fabs and Snacky. So many top contenders in this tournament still, and this is only day number one.
That's a deal. 120 below, make it 60 now. They do need a
I
little
have to
bit
go
more
like
damage.
AFK for like
It's gonna continue
a
to
couple
fluctuate.
minutes.
Vigo
Or like
finds Baka, down goes On1 as well. Vigo just cleans that up. Meanwhile, Kanata and Macwood, they started off so hot, and now all of a sudden they are in a world of trouble here, surrounded by some of Europe's most dangerous here on this south side of the zone. But hey, they have time, they have plenty to work with here. It shouldn't get too sketchy just yet. If they can keep a low
I'm sorry,
for a
but like
while,
it's almost
they'll
over.
survive to the next moving zone, or the half-in, half-out reveal. Here's a look at third, fourth, fifth. Sixth and seventh are down, fifth is down.
Hey, that's a blessing for some and a curse for others. For the teams from 8th and below, this is their chance to really close the gap in the final game.
That's all of NA East out in Game 6.
That hurts just a little bit. Just a little bit, but you still got Acorn and Edgy still alive. Catching one on to Joe. Janice is going to be left as a solo. As Video just get knocked in that moment. That's Taze and that's Chapix that are hot on the heels. But pressure is coming from all sides for a lot of these teams. And even Macwood and Kanata are trying to put some shots on to Taze and Chapix. You see Janus trying to break through. He is that solo that we were looking at, trying to survive. Video finally goes down. Janus still knocking on the door. Storm Surge taking him down, but Tayson gets the last laugh.
And in the end, it's going to mean 4 eliminations for Tayson and Chapix. And they absolutely needed it. They were slipping so far behind, well outside that top 20 bubble. Way to make a hero's effort push in game 6 to set yourself up for a good day 2. But they still have a long road in front of them. They have to close out this round. The zone is going to pull far northeast. It's on a little piece of a zone, so if you have that mountaintop just right there, you're going to be in a sound and strong position for Edgy and Acorn. They'll be some of the last to jump on over. And we said we want to see Epic Whale and Reet. They're just above sitting down, so this might be their game. But first, Vino and Queasy have to show us why they're in the lead.
They don't really have to do anything here. Look at the loot right now. They're on the edge of zone. They have some high ground. All these players flying through the sky. Easy shots. You're just like serving it up on a silver platter for a team that has been playing this good, but only 7 damage below the threshold.
And let me tell you something, this is not bad for a team that lands north and then has this half in, half out pull north. It makes a big difference when you are already positioned there and this comes your way. Now they just have to worry about damage management and closing out this last game. But you can see Tripper and Thomas HD are there as well. They have that same story. They are very much close by. Here's our high ground kings, Reet and Epic Whale, the 6X, and of course Reet, a multi-FNCS winner himself, going head-to-head against Refsguard right now. They're starting to crank up, but Reet does not want to give it up, not just yet. He jumps down. This is what he does best, is take those fights, but no, plays a little smarter. He has to play for the end game.
And I saw Pink and Anas go down to Pars. He's finally starting to heat up. Tayson gets another one. Kanata as well. Refguard as a solo stole Hideaway from the TSM duo. That is absolutely insane right now. But you got to take note of where they actually landed, though. They still landed at a high enough layer so they can take it back at a moment's notice.
Just need to evaluate the situation. No need to burn material this early. Smart play is the best play. Vino with a huge tag there. Shield crack there. It's going to go ahead and get him a little excited. But Acorn and Edgy now revealed themselves to his layer as well. He's not too happy about that one. You see him back up just a second here. Meanwhile, Refsguard on high ground by himself, just looking down here, enjoying the view. But 130 damage is what he needs. He gets 4 tags. That's great, but not enough. Here comes the big drop, and he hits it. Okay, he stays in the game.
Almost seeing his life flash before his eyes, just a few centimeters in the wrong direction. He goes down, he goes out, but Queasy and Vino are trying to go up. They're trying to take the game by storm, and they get it, Monster. They got the high ground for now.
But it's not for free. They do have a duo on their heels. Who is it? It's Refsguard who tried to fight for it, but he is not going to be successful this time around. High ground can get you one thing that we know for sure, and that's amazing placement if you can ride it out. When you're a solo like that, that was an excellent attempt. But now, back into the heat of things. Seti, Cammy, 2 Elims, another end game, and their biggest threat, Tripper and Thomas HD is alive. Acorn and Edgy, NAE's last hope potentially in this lobby, still in the run.
Saw threats go down to the bottom half of the map. That's Trulex and Chicho taken down. Kanata falls as well. Ed's gonna get one. Queasy Vino trying to go ahead and put themselves outward so they can continue that damage. Seats a solo, stuck at the outside of zone. 4 floppers to work with. The Siphon comes through onto Ed. This is an opportunity for him to pick out placement points while being outside of the zone.
Not only that, Clicks is still alive too, but here's Tayson. Tayson's gonna fall inside the storm now. It's up to Acorn and Edgy, making their way out the outskirts here. Look at the clean rotate here from Acorn. He is just exceptional, but we get to jump into the Duke. 200 HP, now down to 72, make it less than that. It's not looking good from 0 to hero. He's trying to claw his way into this. They find a player on the edge. No Elam there. Duke has to fight back, and down he goes. And it is all over. And once again, we might be seeing our first team who is setting up for a back-to-back.
Back-to-back, that is going to leave them with all the confidence in the world to end day 1 and go into day 2. They have 10 eliminations onto Vico from the low ground. He's trying to have a comeback for the ages to close out day number 1. Shots on the Tripper, a huge amount of damage. He drops him down as well, but goes down altogether. Valiant effort by Vico.
It isn't worst case scenario for Thomas HD because his biggest threat is on high ground, but Reet is fighting back. Reet takes down Queasy on height. He is turning this around and then trying to turn this into potentially a solo game. Meanwhile, Thomas finds block. Thomas still alive, and Reet falls there in the end. Look at Thomas holding the low ground. Chicho's right next to him. Trulix hurts him too, but Vino has the grip of height. Acorn waiting on the side. Out of builds, he's gonna have to come down too. It's all over. The gas tank is empty. Down he goes, and now off to Seti.
It's Cammy and Seti, the only duo left, and they find another one. Vino trying to put one there. 1v2 situation. What can he do here to take home the big prize and end with back-to-back victory royales to end the day? But a team looking to take first place back. Cammy and Seti, and they try to steal it away by getting that VR to end game 6.
And they get the first game. They get the last game of day 1. What a story for Cammy and Seti. Becoming legends must be so proud right now of these players. They put in the hard work. They put in the effort, and wait to watch it pay off.
That is huge for them because they're not like a lot of these other teams who are consistently fighting to get to the top of the leaderboard. They play their play style through and through, from the drop spot all the way to the end game. They're one of the few teams, time and time again, that has their own spot. They call it the Cammy split, and it works out every single season.
And now they get to take that victory lap to center stage, where they will be greeted by Adam Savage for a quick update. And Adam, please tell me how they do it.
Right now, they're looking mighty fine. Give it up for Cammy and Seti! GG's, boys! 2 victory royales out of 6 games. A FNCS Invitational. That must feel amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's really amazing. Talk us through, you saw there that we had Queasy and Vino on the high ground. We saw Queasy went down, Vino was solo. When you saw that happen, was there an opportunity for you guys to get your way in and win that game?
Yeah, but we didn't want to take the high ground because we wanted to get more kills on the low ground. That's why we stayed low. And
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In terms of today, the 6 games, has it played out as you both thought coming into this, or have things been very different?
Like, we died 2 games to Surge, like, we planned everything differently, but it didn't went as we planned it.
We just adapted. I think we just adapted well, and going into tomorrow, we're gonna be more confident and more prepared, so yeah.
Talking of preparation for tomorrow, what do you do now? Do you go back and review VODs? Do you kind of work on strategy, or do you relax?
Like, I think relax and VOD review.
Tomorrow, a big day, 6 more games. Could Cammy and Seti go all the way and win FNCS Invitational?
Of course.
Of course they could. Give it up for Cammy and Seti! Your game 6 winners! Let's go back to Zeke and the gang. Jinquit?
I made this joke. Game 1 of the FNCS Invitational. Cammy and Seti are living their life on repeat right now. They've done this dance before, right? This happened at DreamHack. They win game 1, they win game 6, they stay on top. For Cammy and Seti, all of EU right now is thinking this is it. We are the best.
Look, EU is on top right now, but Cammy and Seti, they're gonna have a stressful night. It ended on a high note, it started on a high note, but with the history of Cammy and Seti, having 2 back-to-back good days is a curse that we haven't seen too often, so I'd be really happy to see them continue this momentum forward from this last match into day 2.
Yeah, and Seti said it himself, right? They're really, really adaptable. They're adapting very, very well. And that's what I like to see from this team. What I've noticed about the way that they play and the way that they sort of carry themselves, they don't get down after a bad game. You know, we saw, as they said, 2 bad games. Surge wasn't quite looking too good for them. But look at that. They come back. They make the changes that are required to bring them up in the leaderboard. And you can see it's working out.
Yeah, right now they're holding, right? They're not in that first place spot. And, of course, as they talked about, they were eliminated 2 games to Surge, right? And they identified those issues. And now we see the correction in game 6 of Victory Royale, right? So, to your point, Okada, tomorrow they come back stronger. We can see them win it all.
Look, the tricky
part is they did adapt very quickly and effectively in that last match. They had a difficult mid-section of the tournament, but the thing is now overnight, those duos that didn't have the best day one will also change. They'll also adapt, and maybe the adaptation that Cammy said he had for this last match won't be valid in day two.
We will find out right now. We have Kelly standing by with the duo in first place. Kelly, take it away.
Everyone, I am joined by Vino and Queasy, our first place team out of day one. All right, so this is a stat that was happening, I think, even before Game 6 was going on, but you had the most solo eliminations with 17 elims. I'm sure that is even more now. How do you do it?
I'm the best player in the world.
I love it. I love the confidence. But how do you know when to go for the elimination and when to, like, step back?
It's nice having a balance.
Okay, guys, I'm just gonna like keep it on for
so a lot of the time when we're playing high ground, I can drop back and look for kills, especially when I have the Ranger shotgun because of the range on it. And that's when you can at least get a lot more kills. And I used the Ranger shotgun really well the other game. I got a kill on the Asia team, Zagu, I think. And that led us to winning that game.
I mean, obviously, it's not just winning you the game, but it's also winning you the whole tournament right now. Queasy, after that VR in Game 5, to almost do it again in Game 6 as well. I mean, obviously, you're going into day 2 pretty confident.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the lobby is not that hard. I feel like we should have been way better than we are right now. We had, like, a hard choke in Game 4 and 5, I think. Or no,
wait, you got the VR in Game 5.
3 and 4. But yeah, other than that, feeling confident going tomorrow.
I mean, obviously, you guys are doing something right. You're in first place right now. Good luck in day 2, and thank you for joining me here for an interview. And we're going to head back on to the desk.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And this is just, like I talked about this earlier on in the day. Vino is a player who is constantly evolving. I just want to kind of consider how this could have gone differently, right, for Cammy and Seti. It was a 1v2 against Vino, and it's because Reet played spoiler and eliminated Queasy. In the same other universe I talked about, you know, this one earlier on in the show, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. In this other alternate universe, Queasy's still alive, and then we see a true 2v2 against Queasy and Vino versus Cammy and Seti. The way these guys have been playing, I think it would have gone to Queasy and Vino.
Look, we could have seen the back-to-back victory royale from Vino and Queasy, right? They had it all lined up. But I'm also, happy to see what we saw, right? When Cammy and Seti got the VR, it was the first VR from down in the ground, right? On the low ground. They managed to secure it. All the victory royales came from that high ground up above, so it was great to see a little change up. But that change up was because Queasy ended up going down and Vino was left in the 1v2.
Yeah, we saw it, right? We saw Queasy going down, but of course it opened the floodgates for the players down below to really just rack up eliminations, rack up the placements as well. And there was a few moments here I thought, well, you know what? We talk so highly of Vino, and you could tell by the interview, he's oozing with confidence. I could feel it over here. He could clutch this, right? He could clutch this 1v2. Couldn't quite work out for him, though, although we've seen it do him so many times.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from Seti and Cammy. They are phenomenal players, and they deserve that victory royale in that moment. I just want to see some good Fortnite, man. And in this alternate universe, we got to see a 2v2 against two of the greatest in the world. Now, I do want to take a moment. I'm getting word that none other than Adam Savage is sitting by with one of our duos currently in the top 10. It is Smite and Larson.
That is right. Thank you very much, Zeke. Smite and Larson, everybody! Bear in mind, Smite and Larson are an average size. I'm just an anomaly. I am massive. Guys, it has been an amazing day. 7th after the first 6 games. You must be feeling great. Was there a target prior to this after day 1 that you aimed for, and did you exceed expectations?
Well, we tried to end around 150. We didn't really reach that, but off spawn, we did way better than we thought we would, and it was amazing.
Talking about off spawn as well, obviously Muzz and Looter, Grim Gables going head to head. Larson, how many of the 6 battles did you guys win?
We won 4 out of 6, but it should have been better. It should have been 6-0, but it's all good.
We saw your reaction as well. We loved seeing your reaction to some of the moments. You look like you're enjoying yourself and getting quite passive-aggressive at the same time.
Yeah, to let them know that they're trash and we're beating them every game tomorrow.
Okay, I like that. I like that fighting talk here as well. Smite, going into this evening as well, how do you guys prepare for day 2 tomorrow? Do you go and relax, or is it back to grinding this evening?
We're gonna go over VOD, see what we did wrong, and fix it for tomorrow, and we're gonna hopefully win every game.
Okay, everybody, Smite and Larson, thank you so much. Let's head to my man Vivid on the main stage.
Here we go. We've had plenty of opportunity to talk about the teams in top 3, Queasy and Vito included, and of course Cammy and Seti. But Thomas, HD, and Trippin sneaking into that second place position here. And, you know, I want to check in, see how they were doing all spot. Obviously, they are landed over at Rave Cave alongside Commandment and Avery. How are they getting out of this so unscathed, right? Every single game you can see here, it's kind of this race to this balloon and mountain position over here. And this game, Thomas, HD, and Trippin win that race. They instantly poise up on top of this balloon and on top of this mountain. And basically what this allows them to do is sit here for pretty much the rest of the game. And this is where they get a lot of their storm surge from. But it also allows them to control pretty much this entire side of the map. Since they are so high up on that higher ground, they can just fire down shots on anybody that decides to rotate through. So as you can see here, look at the map. There is not a single soul around them. And that's really, really good coming into the rotations that are going to happen for the end game. And then the balloon is awesome, right? Because it does provide you with that immense high ground, but then they can also just use it for those rotations that I was just mentioning. Of course, that is not possible if they aren't allowed to control that much of an area. So well done for them. Coming into day number 2, I want to see more of that out of them. Now, Adam tosses it to me. I'm going to toss it right back to him.
Thank you very much, my man. I'm with right now Thomas and Trippin, everyone. The dynamic Danes here. What a great day. We talked earlier on at the beginning of the show about this being potentially third time lucky for you guys, and so far second place, Thomas, after day 1. Surely you guys are thrilled.
Yeah, I'm proud of Trippin and me. Like, we played a lot of, really good today, and yeah, and hopefully we can do even better tomorrow to take the win.
Absolutely. How do you improve on tomorrow? Was there anything today in your game that you thought could use improvement, or did you feel it went pretty solidly?
Our late games could have gone better. We could have more kills. We had 3 or 4 kills every game, I think. I don't know. I feel like we played pretty average today, from what we can play. So hopefully we pop off tomorrow again.
Absolutely. We saw as well in that game 6, you managed to get high ground quite early. You managed to get storm surge tags as well. How important are those tags in situations like that, where you can kind of maintain and hold fort up high?
We didn't really play high ground today. The surge tags are of course important. That's why he has me. Yeah.
Dare I say it, I'm going to ask you guys, do you think potentially you could be the favourites? You could win the FNCS Invitational tomorrow. Sat in second, Trippin is looking pretty good.
Maybe, we'll see.
Maybe we'll see. Guys, give it up for Trippin and Thomas HD! Love to see it. Let's head back to the desk. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much. That's crazy. Adam did an interview with Smite and Larson and said he was the anomaly. I guess there was 3 anomalies there. I'll see myself out. Don't worry about that. MDF, Jacob, before we say goodbye, we want to get your thoughts on the day. It has been a great day indeed. Listen, I enjoyed every single moment of this awesome competition.
I've been entertained through and through, from games 1 to game 6. It honestly exceeded my expectations.
And you know what? The player that stood out the most to me, the duo that stood out the most to me. To us, for sure, has to be McDreamy and Zagu. Representing for the Asia region, the Japanese powerhouse, the champions of the Asia region. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and honestly, could you even believe that this is their second FNCS finals together? They played together last season. They took home the Axe of Champions, and they're looking to do it here yet again. But no story would not come without its ups and downs. They had a good start to the day, not necessarily the best start at the end, but they're still exceeding my expectations. And if they can somehow come out on top with that same fire tomorrow, it'd be amazing.
And that's the interesting thing about the way this all played out. You had these first 3 games, they popped off, and they could have probably took that momentum, but then we hit that small break, right? Everyone gets to reset, reevaluate, and all of a sudden it was a tougher back half. So tomorrow they get the full day to reset. If they can kick things off and stay explosive, I think we'll be in for a great show.
Yep, but that's going to be it from us. You guys, thank you for enjoying this great day. That's right. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jacob and MDF. Joining me right now, I have McDreamy and Zago, the FNCS Chapter 3 Season 3 title winners right now. And I have to ask, how exactly did they achieve that Chapter 3 Season 3 win?
シーズン3の勝ちはどうやってできたんですか？
ビクトリーロイヤル、ハイグラウンドを取ってビクトリーロイヤルを4回したんで勝てました。はい。
We were able to do that because we were able to capture the high ground about 4 times, and that's why we were able to win it.
High ground always wins games, and I do want to ask, obviously the Invitational is a very big deal. What has your preparation and practice been like?
この大会はもう本当に貴重な機会でどのような練習をしてきたのかっていうのが聞きたいんです。
アジアとアジアサーバーとそのレベルが違うのでリプレイとか見ながら。
Zago, McDreamy, I really appreciate it. And obviously you guys started the day off.
You want me to translate that?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, yeah, there's quite a big level difference in terms of the players on the Asian server. So we just tried to, reevaluate how we performed by revisiting the replays over and over again.
And obviously you're going to be revisiting those replays today. What are you going to be doing to prepare for tomorrow?
まあ今日のリプレイも見て明日までの、準備は何をすると思いますか？
そうですね。まあダメだったところを改善して明日もっといいプレーできるように頑張りたいと思います。
So we're going to try and reevaluate what we did wrong so we can improve upon that and do our best to win tomorrow.
I would love to see it. Thank you guys so much again for joining me here for an interview, and we're going to head back on to the desk.
A fantastic interview there. And I just got to say, before we kind of wrap up the day, the thing that's impressed me the most is just how humble a lot of these players have been. Obviously, there's been quite a bit of smack talk, sure, this is competition, that's going to happen, but you can tell for a lot of these players when they are kind of talking about their gameplay, what they want to improve on, there is that level of respect. Like, look, I am trying to be the best at this, and I'm aware that I'm not yet. I got to do a couple things and then I'll be there, and I think that's kind of my key takeaway.
It's an understandable reserve celebration though from the players, because you have to keep in mind this is only day 1. The first 6 games we might have found a conclusion for our top 10 leaderboard today, but tomorrow could be a different story altogether. A lot of these players have already talked about the fact they want to basically run it back with the VOD reviews, see where they can try and correct some of the mistakes or just moments that didn't necessarily go their way earlier on. But I do have to give it to EU. They kind of ruined the pattern for today, because we had, for every single game today, EU, NA, EU, NA, and then EU, EU for the Victory Royale finishes.
Look, they did a great job, but I'm also impressed on how every region performed, right? 7 regions competing today, and we saw some nice showings from Asia, from Middle East, from Brazil, and just looking at the top 20 of that leaderboard there, I saw multiple regions scattered all over, and with 6 more matches to be played out tomorrow, anything is still possible.
It really is, and we saw a few of our Titan teams as well, a little bit lower down than we would have expected. Maybe Malibuca and Mustache, one of them, Tayson and Chapix, of course, as well. Not quite having the best day, and I think it just shows that although we've seen these teams popping off in their own regions, when we're on an international stage like this, anything can happen. Although Tayson and Chapix, they're so decorated in the EU region, when you throw a few spanners in the works from different regions with different playstyles, different metas, things can really go south.
It's okay, right? We have tonight to reset, come back even stronger tomorrow. Now, Kelly is standing by with one of our more wholesome duos. It's Pamsto and Fatch.
Hey guys, I am indeed joined by Pamsto and Fatch, and I just wanted you to talk
guys,
a little bit about your drop spot. What was the decision behind it?
We got pretty lucky with zones. We were really a lot of node zones today, and it's kind of hard for search for us because everybody just they go away from Google, and that's where we sit usually. So we had to find new strategies, but we managed to work our way around it pretty well.
Yeah, obviously adaption is the name of the game after day 1. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's a really good place if we keep going tomorrow.
So any changes that you're going to be making in your playstyle for tomorrow, and how are you going to be preparing tonight?
Probably just voting with our coach, just watching the game, seeing how teams play, and maybe be a bit more aggressive tomorrow.
So aggressive obviously is a double-edged sword. You can get those eliminations, but you can also be taken down. How do you know when the right time is to strike?
It's very rewarding, but the more you play the game, the more you're going to have a good mindset on when to kill someone.
Almost like that. Oh yeah, well, outro. Guys, it's gonna wrap it up for today. So smash like, subscribe, and hope you had like a good day or like a good stream. So yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for now.